Well, good evening. Hope you can hear me. Let me know in the chat if you can hear me or not. I'm starting out a little early because I don't know how this is going to work. I'm going to turn it over to Gary and let him run it as soon as he comes in. And we'll talk about some stuff. Let's see here. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? We got no watchers. Oh, we got 5 watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, and share. I can't tell whether you can hear me or not. Sounded good. Okay, great. Yeah, well, I'll tell everybody when they come in. That's what happens when I ain't filming. I'm concentrating on doing something, except I didn't think I flew that good, but made less mistakes than anybody else. Come on, Dan or Gary. Wonder how many Nats guys will join in. Well, we're 11 minutes early. So it was a pretty nice day today. Pretty blustery, but wind was only about 8 to 9 mile an hour, but it was huffing, Got a thermal, blew my airplane away from a good landing. Had a crappy takeoff on the first flight. Thank you, Tony. There's Gary.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
Yeah, I saw you're giving out the trophies and everything. I was watching that.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you was going through the planes, for the judgment,
Yeah.
it was kind of blurry in some of them.
Yeah. Low bandwidth.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. You are now the host. So if anything happens, you
Yep.
run it for 2 hours, and
Okay.
anything after that is a what? Yeah, it's up to you. I usually run it till 9 o'clock my time, which is 2 hours.
Okay.
Then I turn it over to you for the next 2 hours to talk to Len subconsciously. But as soon as somebody comes in here, I'm gonna lay down and get a nap.
How was the wind out? Pretty calm for you to fly?
I would say it was calm. How fast was it today, Dan? 7 to 10, but it was puffing.
Yeah.
Wasn't real steady. Oh. But I did win national champion for N30 and a concourse trophy and the perpetual Billy Warwick N30 trophy. So I'm gonna need to get that engraved, and then next year it'll go to somebody else. I think think there's some, did you put any pictures of any of my flights up at all? Oh,
No, I didn't upload anything. As far as your flights.
yeah, you took a picture of the first flight.
Yeah, I stood there for one picture.
He thought he was videoing and he took a picture and they stood there for 7 minutes holding the camera in front of his face, but it was only a picture, not a video.
Yeah, that happens. You know.
I was so mesmerized with the beautiful flying.
Yeah,
Now, there's still more stunt flying later on.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay.
it don't start till tomorrow.
Advanced and expert.
Yeah, the advanced and expert fly tomorrow,
Or tomorrow. Okay.
Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I don't think there's anything left on Saturday, is there?
No.
There used to be.
Yeah, I know, it used to go, yeah, it's Saturday.
Well, these guys whine about me getting on. Where are they?
Yeah. I enjoy, your what you did show. Is this something that I don't know them all, but I have met some, and it's kind of is touching, to think of.
Bob Hunt won classic today.
Yeah. Now, he's probably leaving to home though, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's headed home.
Yeah.
I got the complete series of Stunt Flyer video magazines that will, as soon as I get them edited up, I'm going to load up and will be for members only. So if you're not a member, you get a pretty good deal for the Stunt Flyer video series. There's 12 tapes, The Man in His Museum, and so you get 12 hours of edited video. So I encourage you guys to become a paid member. Get 1 cup of coffee. I got to do something. Oh, we're gonna put up the Jap tissue one. That's a bunch of. It's a whole bunch of. Man, I am so tired. Was up
Yeah. That sun gets you.
Wait, 240.
2:40. I was up when I got up. Time for me to go to bed. Aren't you tired?
No,
Take a nap.
I'm a lot younger. I
Yeah,
didn't fly.
I got a judge tomorrow.
If I lay down there for 5 minutes, I'll be out.
Yeah. Soon as somebody comes in for Gary.
Yeah, I hope someone comes in. If not, we'll just
I'm going to sleep. I just about fell asleep at the 180 building. But they couldn't let me sleep for 5 minutes. Come on, get up.
what's the weather like for tomorrow there?
I have no clue.
No clue.
Possible rain, I think. Isn't that what Steve said?
Yeah. I think there's a small chance, if it does rain, it's not gonna last for long. Should be Set in the nineties and low eighties and less wind.
I gotta get that sun lotion on. You only got a 30 blocker. You gotta use mine, it's 50.
Really, 30's doing it, 30's working for me.
Which I didn't have any on today. That's why I'm wiped out, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Probably, yep. Sun will zap you.
Hey, throw me that aloe vera that's in the refrigerator door. Right on top. Get a little cool on me. Ooh, that's cold. That feels good though.
What's very cool? Working on anything?
You working on anything, Gary?
No. So just stuff around the house needs done.
Build an airplane. Start now, maybe by next road act you'll have it. No added fragrance. Here you go, put this on, cools you right off. Oh,
All your watches are probably up here with that.
what's that?
All your watches are up here with that.
Well, that's possible. I mean,
Good third of them.
it's just now 7 o'clock though. I was early. I wanted to make sure this was working so Gary could take over.
Yeah.
So I started early and these guys are pretty much a creature of habit. They know that 7 o'clock is the time. But
I was kind of waiting.
what?
I was kind of waiting to see when I heard my phone go deep and I looked and I better turn my computer on there.
They're not on by 7:30. You're on your own. You do what you want. We got another year's support from Rich's Brew, so you guys need an A fuel. Make sure you go to the website, the Stunt Hangar, click on the Rich's Brew icon, and make sure you tell them that you heard or saw it here on Stunt Hangar. The name is Randy Rich, or whatever fuel you want, you can get sent to you. We got to support our people that are helping support us. So tired. I get that rack and beat out. What's for breakfast? Go I hop again tomorrow?
I don't know. I have to think about it. But- Oh, it's convenient. We could put down monster.
Yeah, they don't open till 6 o'clock.
Six. Okay.
Yeah, there's no way. No way.
You have your ice cream this evening?
What's that?
You have any more ice cream this evening?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
Every
all
day.
right.
we're about 15. What is it? 15 or 20 bucks in now a piece.
I'm counting. Whatever it takes. Whatever it takes, Gary.
Okay.
We've had ice cream every night, boy. I tell you, we ate at this place called a Yummy Buffet yesterday. Chinese buffet. And they had roast beef and pot roast and ham and all kind of shit. Anyway, they had ice cream there, Dipper ice cream. Not the soft serve, but regular out of the. I said, Dan, do you think this stuff is good as the Golden Boulder? He said, no. I said, well, I'm going to try it. So I took just a little bit, just a little tiny bit, and I took it and brought it back and took one bite and said, nope, we're off to the Golden Boulder. Frozen Boulder. Whatever.
Yeah.
It is the best ice cream on the planet. Homemade, it's really good. Ah. Come on, guys, if you want this to continue, you better get in here because I'm about ready to fall asleep. Is there anybody on YouTube? No. 8 watching. So I would suggest that you get over to Stunt Hangar, you click in, and give Gary some support because I'm about dead. I'll be sleeping in 5 minutes. I'll put a windy tape on
We'll be out.
and be out.
Wendy's tape.
Yeah.
Windy tapes are the best sleeping pills out there. Unbelievable how boring they are. Here we go.
Yeah, I saw Mark Lumen's crash.
And that's the end of that.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a shame.
Yeah, believe it or not, Danny cracked up and Mark cracked up. I said, this is going to be a short flight. I didn't know he was going to crash. Then he hit the ground and said, and that's that. Make sure to like, subscribe, and share.
Happens quick then.
Hey, thank you, Jose. About time I did something. It's only taken 25 years to do it. Took me 20 years to win a concourse and 25 years to win a national championship, and it still ain't the big one. It took me another 25 years to win the big one.
Well, you need to take some time and go fly more. Maybe. This
It's easy to say.
I know it is. Yeah, I understand. Yeah.
I just don't have the interest to go out there and fly.
Yeah. If you have to do it by yourself, then that makes it.
We got guys that can fly with it. But I had 7 flights for the year. That was my 7th flight. The 8th flight. I put in 2 today. 5, 6, 7. See, 5, 6, 7. No, 7th flight. And I think there's something wrong with my airplane. It doesn't do what I want it to do. Joe Gilbert has been helping me retrim, and I went to 62-foot lines, and it flies so fast. I need to go back to the 64s. So I got some time to think.
Yeah.
That's. What's that?
I didn't say anything.
What's that?
I didn't say anything myself.
Come on, guys, get in here. I shouldn't make these promises. Maybe everybody just getting tired of doing this.
Well, you got quite a few there at the Nats there, don't we? We got Gilbert's there.
Yeah,
Yeah, of
that's about it, really.
course.
Saw Keith Trussell.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
I asked him why he hasn't been on. He said he's just been busy. Of course, Bob Hunt's here or on his way home or whatever, so he won't be on.
Right. No. They're trying.
He's not here.
He's coming.
Oh, he's coming.
Hmm.
Hey guys. Hey guys,
Hi, trying.
hello. I wish I could go to the Nets, but I don't have the vacation to do that. By now, I'm working on some hardware for a plane. I just drill and tap, open this up for a bigger bolts, so I have a better joint. So yeah, right now I'm just here working on the stuff. How you guys doing?
Hey, Dan, you know that H that goes in there for the take apart hardware? Do you think we can make that out of carbon? That'd be plenty strong.
And then if you have to put screws in it. In other words, you know, for the wing and the stubby spar.
Stretchers,
Yeah, you put,
brass.
well, I'd go with stainless or something. It seemed like it'd be really hard. Or like a nut cert, you could
Yeah.
mold in there, or and like woodworking, they have these things that screw into the wood so you can get a machine thread
Well,
in.
you can get those for models, 440.
So, yeah, that's what I'm saying, just mold those into it.
Yeah. Let's make some of that stuff.
I told John Daly about it. I said, think you can save weight? He said, yeah, I'm pretty sure you could, because he said they're pretty heavy, at least the ones he had. Now, the ones on my Rondip bikes that are playing with the crash, it looks like it's been milled out and lightened up a little bit.
Yeah.
But heck, you know, by the time you buy the aluminum and all the machines and milling, you can hold it, release it. Same principle as molding a belt frame, you put all the toe in there.
Right.
So, yeah, that's. The other thing, you know. In order to glue the aluminum in way. You gotta wrap it with Kevlar, so you have something to do.
Just thing's too tight. So I see the Nats weather is very nice.
Yep.
So what you flying this year, Sparky's flying the blue one?
Yeah. My Viper.
Yep. Is that like a classic eligible or?
No, N30. It's 31, let's see, 31 years old.
See. Are they running N30 this year or?
Yes, I won.
Awesome. Congratulations, man. What can I say? Awesome.
Take me down.
I'm highly considering just building a stiletto.
Yeah,
And make just keep it electric.
Hey,
There it
Jimmy,
is.
how come you went with carbon instead of fiberglass and balsa on your airplane?
Carbon gives you a better skin resistance.
More rigidity, stiffer?
Um, yes, yeah. The same reason for which you put the veil on your plane.
Okay,
Like when you put your nails in it or something like that, or you grab it a little bit wrong, it's not gonna ding it.
yeah, now these guys that are using fiberglass and balsa core, are they using 3/4 ounce glass or what are they using, do you know?
Uh, I don't know. I think it's 3/4 ounce glass most likely, and some kind of core of maybe Air-X or something like that, or raw cell.
Okay,
And they also let me think about it. What they use. Um, yeah, and another 3/4 ounce on the inside.
right, okay.
hey Gary,
That's
you're gonna have to clear out Carl Reed. He's got 3 screens going there.
Yeah.
Carl, we're gonna have to clear you out because you can't have all them screens there. Or why don't you just log off and then try logging in again? Completely log out. There's Carl. Now
Yeah,
Get
yeah.
rid of
What?
two.
get rid of the 2 of them, Gary.
Okay, hold on. I'm gonna get you back up there. So what we do, right click on it,
Right click on it. Yeah, it'll say boot or
remove.
yeah, remove.
Okay.
There's one. Do the other one now. Let's do low bandwidth. There we go.
There you go.
I mean, why do you need the H in that take apart system? You can have just two sides, top and bottom, and that's it. You don't really need an H. Because
Right,
as soon as you lock it in on the wings, the wings the is not going to move like this, right?
right,
Because the wings lock the ends on, so you can only move like that, if that tension and compression. So you don't really need that. You can keep something super simple. Get a mold just a flat piece of carbon fiber, but when you mold it, you just put the strands like this. You go around it, right?
okay,
And then on the two ends, you can put with the screw. You can put some of those removable, the brass threads that have like
Yeah.
some kind of a knurl on the outside,
right,
right? So you
yep,
wrap around those guys. You put the two pieces together, just clamp it together, and now you have a nice hard point to screw it on, and call it a day. I mean, it's simple as that. It
yep,
doesn't have to be complicated. Don't have to make no H, no nothing. So basically, it's just something like this, but only the screws go in this direction, like
correct,
that.
yep,
And in a wing, you can do the same thing. I mean, you can make another one identical for the wing, and you just cut it in half and rotate it, and just put it like this outside. Be good
yep.
to do. I mean, that's simple. Anybody can do that. I mean, it's just not complicated.
Okay.
So Mike Londike had a,
Lock it, whatever.
Lonky.
Yeah.
What did I say, Londike?
I don't know, Klondike bar.
Klondike bar, Mike Klonky. So anyway,
Oh, I'm
looking at
gonna
these,
tell.
I'm looking at these crashed airplanes, Axioma, I think. Don't quote me on it, but I'm pretty sure that's what it was.
Yeah.
He had a flap horn. It was a metal, like a music wire flap horn. It had an upright of a little stubby shaft that a nylon thing screwed onto. Well, the nylon sheared off. And it didn't shear off in the crash. It's what caused the crash. So Yeah, I think, and I've seen a couple of these things the guys built with these really light quick links, not the heavy duty
Yeah,
ones.
he's got aluminum.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't think they're putting a good enough, linkage in some of these things.
This is adjustable.
Yeah, it looked,
It looked janky.
you know, the fancher control horn where it sort of goes up at an angle and you got holes here and then you got holes this way. Sort of comes up like this.
Mhm.
It's like a big Y.
Yeah.
with holes on it. But that Y tapers down and it had a socket where it's screwed onto the upright on the horn.
Ah.
Broke.
Well, probably he never put a flat on the horn. And if you don't have a flat on the wire, you know, it's gonna rotate.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's just a failure of design.
yeah.
Simple as that.
Hey, Ed,
Yes, sir.
I got Danny with me here. We're discussing this trip to West Virginia.
Okay.
Give him the lowdown on what's going on
Well, it's a youth aviation expo to expose them
in there.
to model aviation and how
Okay.
it can lead into a career. And so I go to the companies and to and everybody around businesses, and I go get donations. And aerospace is a big deal here in this area now. And so what we do is it's free, hands-on. It'll be August 8th and 9th. And anybody that comes in, it's free, and they get to do free flight control line, radio control, drones, rockets, STEM programs and stuff.
Right.
And anybody that the ones that come in and help me and stuff like that, you know, I make sure I take care of you guys. And that we have a big meal with Victoria Yeager planned for Thursday night, and that she's coming in to help support the event. And so it's trying to educate kids on model aviation and parents on how many jobs there are in this industry, and that and right here in West Virginia.
Yeah.
And that I mean, I had a team just go to England. From there, we had to send them to Germany and then over to Switzerland, and they just got back. I'm looking at sending another team over to Dubai as we speak and
Okay.
stuff. So pretty busy. But anyway, it is, you know, giving them hands-on experience and stuff. And I also have this year the gentleman from the Board of Education coming up from the state with his son, who I've been talking to and helping with, reviewing an aerospace program that they want to offer to middle school and then to high school. And that, so in other words, if you want to be a pilot, they explain what a pilot is, a mechanic is, and all the other jobs. And then when you get to high school, they want to have a program more designed to follow what you think your career path is and stuff. So it's well attended. I needed help on year one. I'm on year 5 now, and a lot of volunteers came in from all over. And that, I mean, Mark Weiss from Delaware, Will's coming up from North Carolina. I got a couple of scale guys coming in from Pennsylvania and Maryland and Virginia. Bob Hunt is going to try to make it this year. And that, if you guys can make it, that would be great. It might be something, you know, that might be of interest on the YouTube there, Sparky, and that, you know. So it's just one of those things. And, you know, if you're coming up, Sparky, like I said, I'd take care of you and whoever comes with you and stuff. So you wouldn't have to worry about a hotel
Okay.
and that. And we all get to, like I said, we all get together Friday and have a nice meal. Also I have stuff for everybody at the field. It's several big soccer fields for radio control and rockets. And then you have a parking lot, and then you look to the south of the parking lot. We've got 4 baseball fields, and which we use for control line. One for basically doing ring rats training. Then the scale guys, and then also like Phil Bailey and Paul Kobe and Roger were up doing doing stunt and stuff.
Okay.
Will and I are talking about some ring rats with the old streamer on there to do some very, very slow combat
Okay,
and that.
basic
And
program to expose the kids to the STEM program as it relates to modeling, correct?
yep, it's all hands on, and whatever they build, they take home with them. The whole idea is I didn't want to rule anybody out because we can't afford any of this stuff and
Right.
that. So that's why I went for the donations, and so the gliders, the wind-up gliders, the rockets, all that stuff is free. Shirts, whatever bags they have or prizes that we have, is all free. And
Well, it sounds like a good event. I mean, all the people you mentioned, it sounds like they've got a lot of experience and they have a lot to offer. You
yeah,
know,
control line. I got back into control line because of it, because I wanted to do an event, and I had nobody that could do control line, and it's like, well, I haven't done it since I was 16 years old, and I wasn't very
Yeah.
good.
Time to,
So I've got 3 ring rats ready to go and stuff, and I started flying again, but I've gone through knee surgery, knee replacements and ankle replacements. So every time I get going a little bit, I get set back. So right
Okay.
now, hopefully finishing up with the ankle, getting back in shape. But RC was no problem getting help from my local club, which I'm the president of. NASA comes by to do the rockets. West Virginia University comes by with their rocket program. The colleges, and we got 3 Fortune 500 companies right there on the field. Mitsubishi Heavy Industries. We have Aurora / Boeing as a Boeing company now, and Pratt and Whitney Engine Services, and that's so right there, we put $1.2 billion into the economy, just our little airport.
wow, that's great.
And that, so
Send me
it's
your
gotten the
phone number.
attention of all the politicians.
Yeah,
Send me your phone number, would you, on Stunt Hangar? And
Yep.
I'm looking in here, I can't find you, and I'll give it to Dan and we'll see.
Well, can I send you a message right now? I can click on you, right?
Yeah,
yeah. So when I get home, Ed, I'll talk to my wife and see what's going on. I'm not gonna give you 100% commitment right now, but let me check when I get home.
Yeah. Also, if you want to look up last year on YouTube,
Yeah,
um,
what do I look up?
Carl Hopkins,
Okay,
WV, Youth Aviation Expo 2024.
okay,
Let's see here, Sparky. I clicked on you.
send message.
Chat. There you go, chat. Okay, that should go just to you.
Yeah, I don't see nothing.
I'm not that fast.
Okay.
okay, Ed, I'll look that up and then,
Yeah, and today I was with Channel 5 TV. We did about a 3-4 minute segment that was supposed to air today, but it'll probably air tomorrow. And I talked with Holly, the girl that I was with, and on August 7th, I'm going to be back on TV the day before the event with Victoria Yeager, and that to interview, have her on TV,
okay,
and that. So we're tying in, helping the General Yeager Foundation too, and that she's coming in. So
that'd be great.
it should be fun, and it's rain or shine because we can do stuff indoors as much as we can do outdoors
Okay.
and stuff. Yeah. But yeah, I'll just send it to Sparky again for YouTube. It's
What are the ages of these kids, Ed? I mean, what's the range?
we started off with saying you know, say 6 through 18 is what we started off. Whoops. And as it turned out, what we found out is we had a lot of kids coming. I mean, I'm talking in strollers and stuff. But the whole idea is now we're um, now we're educating parents and showing them. I have a pay scale. We're showing them what's available here, and the kids. None of them have seen this stuff. Didn't even know it existed.
Yeah.
Stuff. So
Okay, I got your phone number.
yeah, and you see the Carl Hopkins WV Youth Aviation Expo.
No,
Forgot X.
I did not get that.
Yeah, I didn't hit send. Good thing I forgot to put Expo.
There it is right there. Okay.
Yeah, and the videographer that did that is going to be there this year also. But you know, anything that we can get to spread the word, and I'm going to be talking with middle school because I'm trying to see about what can we do in the schools with control line. I mean, there's radio control and there's free flight. So I don't know if it's doable, but certainly going to try.
Okay. Steve, you're getting pretty sunburned. We can't hear you.
You're muted.
Turn up your mic. We still can't hear you. Can't hear you. Nope, can't hear you.
There you go. I found it, Ed.
Is that YouTube?
I just pulled it up on the web.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it says NASA, West Virginia, 4th Annual Carl Hopkins West Virginia Youth Aviation Expo. So
Yeah.
that was, this is the 2024, but it basically gives me a pretty good idea of,
Yeah.
you know, what we're looking at.
Yeah, and like I said, the companies are there setting up that have businesses on the field. The universities are there. The tech schools are there.
You know
So
what? Hey, Ed, I might learn something on this.
I'm still learning. I hear you.
I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 years, I used to do the Oshkosh thing. And some of the kids were, you know, like you said, I wouldn't say toddlers, but you know, first grade up to high school, and some
Right.
parents got involved. So EAA had a place where they could build, I mean, all kinds of stuff. It's like free flight stuff and all kinds of hands-on stuff for the kids. But I always volunteered in the kid venture where they flew the control line.
Yeah.
So, you know, it took somebody to run the lines, keep everybody heading in the right direction.
I had a father that walked out on Mark Weiss right in the middle of him flying a kid, and he would have hit his head if he didn't notice him in time.
Yeah, so it
It's
takes,
just unbelievable.
yeah. But then somebody to register them, and then when they're in line, we take a plane around and explain to them how everything worked.
Well, that's a good idea.
Yeah, so, and then to be honest with you, some of the kids we flew over 1,000. I mean, it might have got to around 2,000 in the whole week.
Wow.
So we had a well-oiled machine, but you could tell some of the kids weren't interested. But
Right.
always tell the ones that were interested, they go through the line and they go right back to the back of the line. And I've had some kids that seemed like they went through 3 or 4 or 5 times in a couple of days. I could have sold them. I could have turned them loose. and then
Right.
fly the plane. Legally, I couldn't do that because, you know, in that situation, you gotta have control of it, but.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you know, if you have 1,000, but you get maybe 5 hardcore kids that were really ready to actually take up the hobby and go from there, but. You
Yep.
know, First,
But
Rutan, I mean, Scale Composites, they were in the modeling as kids.
yeah. Burt Rutan, you know, Neil Armstrong.
Yeah. So I think it's a great program. And I'll get there if I can. The only reason I might not be able to come if something comes up or whatever, but I'll definitely put it on the calendar and
Okay.
I'll stay in contact with you.
Okay. Yeah, that'd be great. I owe you some, I was supposed to send you stuff, Sparky, in regards to pictures and things like that and information, and that's still on my plate. I've got, summer camp tomorrow. And Thursday, I got to shoot down to Alabama because my neighbor is getting inducted into the Hall of Fame at the Space Center there. She teaches the blind, and she's been teaching the blind for years, and they're inviting her, getting her in the Hall of Fame, and she asked us to come down. So
So she has my job. Teaching the blind.
yeah.
Hey, guys, I gotta get off here. I'm dead tired.
I'm gonna take Sparky's seat. My seat.
Yeah.
I knew he'd collapse. Heck, he's up at 2:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm still pretty young. I'll be able to hang in here.
All right, that's good.
Hey, don't pay any attention to all this dang snoring you're getting ready to hear in a minute.
Steve, you ever get your microphone fixed? I don't even see him there. He's sleeping.
Looks like, am I correct in saying it looks like you got a fairly decent crowd at the Nats?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
That's
I was so
nice.
glad to see Bob Hunt win.
Me too.
Yeah.
He was giving it 110%. I mean, he wanted to win so bad, and he flew really well. I saw maybe 1 or 2 mistakes, but that plane of his was flying good. He was flying good, so
Oh, that's good. And yeah, he said he's gonna try to come with Mark Weiss to the event, so we'll see. And that
yeah.
I can feel his pain. I know what he's talking about.
But, you know, between Bob and Mark, I mean, they'd be the perfect fit for this program,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, Bob's got a lot of wisdom in
Yeah.
there. And
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I just trying to find what's the right trigger or the right way to try to get the kids interested. The one thing in regards to trying to do it through the school, you can only do it during school season. And there's so many other things going around. It might not be the easiest.
yeah,
And that we're lucky to have 2 high schools with an aerospace program.
right.
And that so that's one method. But I did do a middle school showing them about model aviation and the future. Mark Radcliffe actually helped me when he was still a VP for District 3. And we did this thing. We had the planes there. We explained everything. I had 5 schools with 5 students each from middle school. And when we added the competition of flying the AMA FPG-9 for the farthest flight, they got really interested in trying to beat each other.
Yeah.
And that, so
Yeah,
to me, it looks,
competition definitely triggers them.
yeah, it seemed to really get them going and start. And then when they start asking you questions, you know that you're on the right track.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I tell you what, if you throw combat, like you said, nothing real hardcore combat, but I mean something
yeah.
where two planes are chasing each other and
Yep.
sort of like a choreographed, combat match. I mean, kids eat that up.
Yeah.
They're drawn to that.
Yeah. Well, I tried to get my RC Superman ready, and it was what I thought. It's underpowered, so I got to get with Dennis Adamison and that, and get a little bit of a modification. But there's my
Okay, that's
yeah.
cool. Boy, they've
Yeah.
come a long way from flying lawnmowers, haven't they?
Yeah. And I got another drone guy that's trying to do Snoopy Doghouse for me.
I've seen those.
And that, and that's something that gets their attention. When they
Yeah.
see it, that gets their
Yeah.
attention.
Yeah.
And so we'll see. But yeah, I want to see. I mean, they've got Science Olympiad, they've got Technical Students Association, and all of these are doing projects, and they're actually pretty interesting. I helped a kid years ago, probably about 7, 8 years ago, do a endurance free flight, and for the local area, he qualified with it for the state tournament and stuff. He was the second longest, and it was amazing what is out there, and that. So
They have competitions with the heavy lift.
I'm sorry, competitions what?
Heavy lift. Just lift a bunch of weight and fly them around.
Oh, yeah. And of course, Science Olympiad had the pre-flight for helicopters this year.
Ah.
And that's so, yeah, it's, and they got the rocket program doing that, where I sponsored a team last year, a year and a half ago, to design and build a rocket that, you got to go so much high and carry, I think, an egg or something and all that stuff. And all that stuff
Oh,
is
yeah,
out
yeah.
there. So why can't we have something control line wise,
Right.
considering how much there was before, and it's cheaper to get into,
Yeah.
and that's why I'm doing the messing around with foam and stuff. Let me pull up another one, a Bob Hunt design. So Bob Hunt on Park Flyer had this
Yeah.
there.
I was just thinking about something like that. If you can get even scale it down, and if you
Yeah,
can
I
get
made this too big for a basic 049 size motor.
uh-huh.
It flies nice. And the thing is, probably total dollar invested, a little over $100. And so my thought was, give them the foam and the basic materials, and have them design something that can do basic stunts. Some wing overs, some loops, inverted,
Uh-huh.
is what I was looking at doing.
But I would demonstrate first so they see what they're looking at,
Yeah.
so they can
Well,
get an idea.
Yeah.
and that's what I'm going to be showing to the Board of Education, the guy and stuff. But yeah, it should have been a little bit. I think this is just 30, about 38-inch wingspan. It's light as can be. It should have been, though, a little bit smaller and stuff.
I'm gonna build with my kids this year in my advanced group. I'm gonna do with them. One day is gonna be their own project. The other one is a group project, and the group project is a Tom. It's one of Tom's kids. It's a vector.
Uh-huh.
We'll make it electric.
Yeah. And also good with those, I can fly it next to my house. I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
I can go up to about 50-foot lines next to my house.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
They have these little foamy airplanes, these little RC planes, they fly inside a gymnasium.
Yep.
But
Yeah.
the control line version, where they have little foamies and they're flying them inside of, I don't know, something with a high enough ceiling. I think, what's a guy from Germany? He had one, there's a YouTube video. And then there's that Chinese girl, she's got a video out where she's flying little
But
foam.
we have some of those. I mean, Igor had one with a GB
That's it, Igor.
Yeah.
control line. Yes.
Yeah,
Well, you know, Twisted Hobbies came out with one.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, Twisted Hobbies has a control line. Mike Lonke actually took one to Joe Knoll, and he said after some power unit, so a little bit of difference in power and batteries, it actually flies pretty good.
Okay.
But
Is that the one that's? Oh yeah, I saw it. I saw that thing. It's like a foamy plane, right?
yep,
Yep.
And
yeah.
it's
If you just
very
go to
inexpensive.
Twisted
I think it's like
Hobbies, go to Twisted Hobbies and type in control line. They have one airplane and stuff. Uh,
cool.
but yeah, I can fly indoor on the turf where we do our free flight in the wintertime if I want to. But you know, you only got about a 30-foot ceiling, so
Yeah.
you can't do anything too much.
Okay, yeah, so their main repertoire here is the RC stuff.
Yep, it's
No,
all
the
RC except for that.
one, okay.
And I think those all come from Germany or Europe.
I'd be willing to bet, Ed, you could take one of these RC foamies, strip all the radio stuff out, put a belt crank on it and fly.
Yep.
Oh,
Yep.
I've got one ready to test fly.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
The only trouble is this one's a little bit heavier than I would like,
okay,
but it was an experiment and stuff.
yeah. Okay, I'll look into that.
But once again, you know, just with buying the Depron foam and not even necessarily that, even the quarter-inch dollar store foam, guys are making them. And so for something for kids, you know, and of course for me it'd have to be electric
Yeah,
and that
Yeah.
Yep.
and that would be about the cheapest way to go.
up at Oshkosh, we used to fly the little Bratcos, okay, that was a Norvell 049.
Yeah.
And the pit crew, they really had to know their stuff. I mean, those things would start eating dirt, you know. I tell you, but that Norvell just kept running and running.
Yeah.
And Stratco was the weak point was the nose to the wing, you know, with the nose at the wing. But they take a beating. But now I spoke with somebody, maybe he's on this hangout or somebody that was involved in the kid venture and they switched to electric and that solved all their problems.
Yeah. The
Yeah,
girls that broke.
it's for small planes. Yes, I say
Yeah.
100% go electric because it's 100% reliable and it's not that expensive. You can get a motor for $10 and you can get a ESC for another $10.
Yep.
And the batteries, the small batteries are very cheap, like $5-8, and
Yeah.
and
That's
that's what I was
what
thinking.
that
I
one
was thinking
has.
about your
Okay.
plane, the exact plane that you show us. Maybe scale it down a little bit and put electric power on it, and anybody can build one of them and fly them over there in a venture in a couple of days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The girls at Brodak told me that there's an organization out in California that is doing, I think, a group of 12 boys and girls. I'm not sure how many of each, but it was the whole idea is they were taking a Brodak, I think, sportsman kit or something that size, half A kit, and making it electric. And they were getting ready to fly them about 2 weeks ago. I haven't seen them, so I don't know the results and that. But I can foresee making that a nice entry, and it's not going to cost you that much compared to. I mean, over $100 sounds like a lot, but compared to everything else and what people are spending money on, it's not that bad.
Oh, I know.
And especially with the value of the money today.
Yeah. But yeah, with the, like I said, with the price, you were right on that. I think that motor, I think I bought, a box of those motors because they were like $10 a piece. And,
Yeah,
they run
exactly.
fine.
And now you can buy the motors with a motor ESC. Yeah, motor ESC combo and propeller.
Yeah.
You
Yep.
can just get the whole set.
Yep. Yeah, I got, I got what, Will Davis uses off of, eBay. And that.
You know, I was talking to Will up here at the Nats. I always had a sense that he was funny. We talked for about 15, 20 minutes. He had me in stitches.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, Wesley and Connor,
Oh my golly.
they're up here
Huh.
running around flying. So I said, where's Wesley and Connor? And he points them out. So he calls them over. He said, hey, Connor, Wesley, come over. And I said, what's your name? I said, mine's Dan. Oh, I'm Wesley or Connor or whatever. And I shook their hand. I said, well, I just wanted to meet the YouTube star. I
Yeah.
said, famous Wesley and Connor from YouTube. It was funny. They just,
Yeah.
but Will's out in the middle of the circle coaching, and you know, Wesley's out there just cranking the maneuvers off with two hands.
Yep.
You know,
Well,
just,
yeah. Connor's the older one or
uh,
Wesley?
now Wesley, I think, and then Connor's the
Yeah,
other.
yeah, Wesley. Yeah, 2 years ago he couldn't make it last year because of the world. But 2 years ago he came up and he did a lot of the teaching for us with the kids. He was out there with the kids showing them how to do it and stuff. And that's one of the things I'm trying to do more of is try to find somebody that's younger to talk with these
Yeah.
kids and explain it to them.
So it's not airplane related, but if you ever see Will Davis, have him pull up his phone and show you when he's in the crawl space catching a mountain or a bobcat or something or a skunk or I don't know what it was. And his wife's outside watching.
Yeah.
Obviously he doesn't have a snake. I don't know what the animal was he said he had. But he's down there in the crawl space yelling or whatever, and he comes out and he's got this big plastic bag and he's got a stick in it and he's shaking it around like the thing's wrestling. And I said, Will, I said, you got to put that up on YouTube. It's so dang funny. He said, yeah, wife won't let me. If
I've
you
seen
run
that,
Will,
yeah.
have him pull that video up and you'll
Mhm.
laugh. And
Yeah, there we go. Phil Bailey came up to the expo there to help support too.
okay.
Yeah. Y'all that can make it need to come on. It's gonna be a lot of fun this year, especially. It's always a lot of fun, but this year it's gonna be even bigger.
How you feel? You feeling all right?
I'm feeling better. Finally got the ringing in my ears down where I can hear somebody talk over it. So I
How's
think
that?
it's gonna be all right. It's just it's coming. It's gonna be a slow deal.
Somebody slap you upside the head and get that ringing out?
Yeah, well, I hope not. No, an airbag slapped me. I'm telling you what.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, if you want to get hit, you want to get hit where you stay hit. Get hit with an airbag. I'm telling you what, that thing hits hard and fast.
It's like Mike Tyson coming out of your dash, isn't it?
I mean that. I don't know what Mike Tyson's hit feels like, but if it's worse than that one, I don't want no part of it.
Hey,
That one had
Phil,
me.
buddies were telling me about a place that in the Elkins area of West Virginia, which is about an hour from Bridgeport, where there's streams that you can just park and just walk right down to them. Other than that, some of the trout fishing is way too much hiking up and down hills. And I said, no, the guy would need something that was easier to get to. So I'm supposed to get the exact locations, and I'll get
Well, I
that over to
appreciate
you.
it. I appreciate it. I'll throw a rod or two in. Well, I'll never bring two. I'll bring 4 rods and different weights. And if we can get to something, if we got time, we'll go see about getting a ticket and going, maybe staying an extra day, Sunday or Monday, and going casting a few times, see if you got some trout or smallmouth we can get at.
Yeah.
Hey, Phil,
Yes, sir.
not to change the subject, but I saw your buddy there did pretty well in classic with the big boys.
Yeah, he's doing good. He's doing very good. He's been practicing with us, and he's getting very good. Kermit,
Kermit, yeah.
yeah, Kermit Payne. He's getting very good. He's gonna be a pain in my butt for the seasons. I've got to get to fly before he can be a pain in my butt. But I'm hoping he's gonna be a pain in my butt for the season's out.
Well,
So
look at who he beat, boy, he did pretty good.
yeah,
Who
he's
he
been
was
flying real
who
well
was
here
ahead of
lately.
him. You know, Bob
Kermit
Hunt
and
first.
Kermit and Larry Drone from this area are the two that you got to watch because they practice like they've been flying, but they ain't been flying near enough. And then you put a judge in front of them or somebody stands there with a clipboard, and I mean they bear down. They really bear down. And I can't do that. Tommy and I both, I guess it's because I always flown with Tommy, but Tommy, Buddy, and I, we fly just like we fly in practice. But those two, man, they hit another gear when they put a judge in front of them. Both of
The
them,
word,
you can't ever think I don't have to worry about those two. Yeah, you get to the contest, you'll have to worry about both of them.
the words of the old song come to mind: "Knuckle down, buckle down, do it, do it, do it."
Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, I'm telling you what, Kermit and Larry Drone both do that, and they're really, you can't go by the way they practice because it just don't work.
Well, just tell them congratulations for me.
I'll do it. I will definitely do it. Both of them. Well, I don't think Larry went, but Kermit really looked good. We flew Tuesday, I think it was last Tuesday or Tuesday or Thursday. I don't remember. I can't remember anymore. The days all run together lately. But anyway, he was flying really well, and we told him he ought to leave that SV-11 at home and just fly that daggum trainer, trophy trainer. Because that thing flies really well. And that Enya is getting broke in where it's one flip, starts, and runs like a clock. It's just
Beautiful
really
thing,
good.
isn't it?
Yeah. That's a design that I never thought would fly as well as it does. But I got a guy at Brodak to let me fly his last year. I think it was last year, year before. I think it was last year. And I was amazed. I said, man, I got to build one of these. This thing don't fly like a constant cord wing trainer.
Phil,
It
you
really
got a
flies
whole
well.
lot of planes you got to get built.
Yeah.
I do. I won't get one. I've got plans for the trophy trainer, but it won't be this year. Probably won't be next. I'm working on 3 at one time right now. And I got a lot done in the last 3 days,
Excellent.
but I haven't gotten, I went to find something, went to find a stripper. I mean, just a balsa stripper,
That
something
kind of a
air-
stripper.
I was gonna say, that should be
No,
easy.
no, no.
I was going to tell you, go down to the corner there.
Another one.
Okay.
I was like,
That-
that.
Master air screw balsa stripper. Okay. And I know I've got one. I've used it for 20 years, but I don't know. For the first time in my life, I cannot find my tools. And there hasn't been anybody else in my shop. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I'm
By
misplacing
the way,
things lately.
did you guys know about the National Balsa deal?
No.
No, what's going on?
They have like a lightweight balsa. It's a pack of 3, 10 sheets of 3 by 36 by 116 by the 332, 10 332s, and 10 1/8 inch for like 119 or something like that. They say it's about half the price of the normal price.
Wow.
That's not bad. Do you
I'll
know
have
And
to
they
go on
also
their
have the
website and
same
see what
deal,
they got.
but 30
They
sheets
also-
each.
They also
Normal
let you know
stuff.
that it's 4 to 6 pound balsas. So
Wow. I'll have to get in touch with them.
You also know
That
that
sounds like a good idea.
that they have a laser cutting service. If you've got the files,
Yeah.
they'll give you your price on cutting. So you just buy it. You don't have to send them the wood there. You tell them what you want. They cut it.
Oh, nice.
Send you a bill for the whole thing.
Yeah, that's a good deal. That
They
is a good
get
deal.
you send them your
look into
file.
that.
You send them your file. They look at it and estimate how much time it's going to take to set it up and do it. And then they
Is that who you're dealing with, John?
I've dealt with them, yes.
Hmm.
I was very happy with
Good
their
deal.
service.
Well, John, one of your birds is one of the next to get on the board. Not the Ellie, but the Trailblazer.
Oh, I'm glad to hear
I've got
that.
about two-thirds of it cut. It'll be one of the next ones to go on the jigs.
Electric
Build that big
version,
wing. Do what?
the electric or the
Oh, it's
IC?
be electric. It'll be electric.
Would you do me a favor?
Sure.
Would you keep a building log on that with some pictures in that? Cause I'd
Oh,
like
I'm gonna
to,
do that. I'm gonna do
Okay.
that. In fact, I got 2 new batteries for the camera today. Of course, they're actually for the trip next week, but we don't even know if I'm gonna get to go yet. I gotta go see the doctor Friday. He's gonna let me know if I get to go or not.
uh-huh.
Talk about having to wait till the last minute. We're supposed to leave Monday. But anyway,
Well, I'd sure
been,
appreciate it, cause I don't know if I'll get a chance to get mine built for a while. With
oh, I
the
can
way
take
things
some
are going.
pictures now of a whole bunch of parts, but I'll take pictures when we start building it. I mean, the fuselage
Yeah.
right now is in so many pieces because there's the front section and then there's the rear is and a few
Now
hundred pieces.
that's the IC version. Oh, wait, no. That's
No,
right.
that's the electric version.
It's electric, yeah. It's been a while.
And then you got that big square nose that Dennis designed, and I'm going to try
Yeah.
to send those files to Brodak and see if they'll cut it for me. He said
Yeah.
if I'd send him the plans, he didn't say files. He said plans. If I'd send him the plans, he'd cut it. So I'm going to send it to him. Just the nose, not the whole airplane, just
Yeah.
the nose.
Well,
And
I'll,
get
I'll
that done.
I'll send him the files if he wants.
Okay. Well, if you ever find the files to that other airplane, boy, I finally found some spruce. One of the guys in my class, I was telling him I've been looking for some 1/8 spruce square, 1/8 square spruce for a while. And he says, well, all you got to do is ask. I got a whole wood shop. So I asked him, I said, I need 24 pieces. And he says, okay, I'll see you Wednesday.
That's for the laser?
No, it's with a saw, but this guy is you could mic this stuff and it'll be exactly an eighth.
What plane is that
About
gonna be
as-
for?
And that's for the back end of the laser,
That's what I
red
thought.
light laser.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's built. The plans I have show it with 1/8 square, and it's built up. It's all very, very lightweight looking, very flimsy till you cover it. But there is another version that has it with sheet sides with stringers on the outside of that. But the one I have is so large, the wing is 3 inches thick, and I just
Yeah.
don't think I want to put that on electric.
Well, the problem I'm having with that right now is I would in protest over draft site raising their prices so high. It was
Yeah.
costing $200 a year. Now it went up to 350. And
Yeah.
so I
That's
bought
crazy.
another program. I had trouble downloading it. I tried so many times to download it that I got noticed and they shut me down for 30 days. So, but that's gonna be up in a couple of days, so then I tried downloading the program, so I can't even go in and open up any of my files right now.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. These companies are
John, have
getting.
you tried to use OnShape?
No, I haven't. I haven't tried any of that. I've got FreeCAD and what's the other? All right. The one that I have that looks like I could work with and would be a pretty good transition, I have to have it in a DXF file, so I can't get in and change the files to DXF without running it through the program. So I can't use that file because it won't take a DWG file. So, but
OnShape will
OnShape,
import DXF and DWG.
what's that?
OnShape will import DWG and DXF files.
OnShape. I'll do a search on that. I've got this program. I paid for it. It's just waiting to be downloaded. This time I'll be a little more careful on downloading it. It's hard following those instructions sometimes for these things. Do this,
Oh, man.
do this over here.
I'll
And
tell
I
you
did
what's
something wrong. I did something wrong.
John, I tell you what's embarrassing. I shouldn't tell this on the open forum, but I will. It's bad when you can take a computer apart, repair it, and put it back together. But you go try and turn the darn thing on and proving that it works, and I had to get my wife to come in and straighten out what I messed up. I understand the
programming.
electronics. It's the doggone software I don't understand.
It's the programming. That's where the problem is.
I
One guy
never was a
programs one
programmer.
way and another person programs another way, and somehow they get things done. But they come at it from sometimes opposite directions.
Yeah, I had two engineers I worked with, and they were like that. One of them came at it one way, and one of them came at it the other. And I was supposed to make their drawings work. And said, "There, guys, you two are going to have to get together because this is ridiculous."
Well, I've built 3 computers. I mean, and these aren't little dinky. These are, big gaming computers type.
Mm-hmm.
That's easy. That's the mechanical part. You got to understand, and things only plug in one way, And
Oh, plug and play stuff is easy, but no, I'm talking about component level repairing them. But the
if you can
electronics.
do that, I've got a ham radio I want you to look at.
Oh man, ham. I got a brother-in-law I put it this way. He's got a 4-digit code.
4-digit call sign?
Yeah, his call sign's 4 digits.
Yeah, I got
He's been at it a while.
I've got a 5-digit.
Yeah.
No,
But
this.
he had a 6, but somehow or another when he applied for somehow or another he let his license lapse and he had to go back and take all those tests again.
Did he? He must
But when
have
he got
let
his
that
extra,
go
they
on.
gave him a choice of a bunch of numbers, and he said he saw down the corner a 4-digit code, and he applied for it. The guy
Got
that
it.
had it had been dead for over a year. It has to be a year and a day.
Yeah.
Had been dead for over a year, had been unused for over a year, and he asked for that code and got it. But it's
So
a
you go.
4-digit code.
This radio is somewhat computer. It's one of the early. It's made by Tech. It's made in the United States. It's a good radio.
Tech.
And
God, I hadn't seen one of those in 20 years.
well, yeah, they went out of business about 10 years ago.
Wow.
But this unit is just a really nice radio for its date and age. But it had a weak spot, and I don't know who was doing their soldering their boards up. So if you had a problem with it, you just pulled out that board. You could send it in. You could call them up, pull out that board. They'd send you a new board. You plug it in, and you send your old board to them. And what most of the problems was soldering issues. The solder over a period of time would go bad. And so
geez.
what I got to do, it appears, is I got to pull all the boards and resolder the boards. Well, you know what happened the last time I soldered?
Yeah. Well, I tell you what, when you go doing all that, be sure and clean all the connections too. All those gold connections, use a pencil eraser.
Yeah.
Don't use all that acid crap. Just use a pencil eraser. A lot easier on the gold. Yeah.
Yeah. Now back to model airplanes.
John Miller. John
Yes, sir.
Miller.
Oh my.
There's the tissue on it.
That looks nice.
So I changed my mind in regards to I am going to cover it with monocoat, which I did on the bottom.
So how'd that
And
go
then I'm
for
going to
you?
put this. I'm going to put the stripes on. But my
How'd that go for you?
question,
It's pretty easy, wasn't it?
exactly. Well, but here's the thing: the one panel, I did the perimeter and then I shrunk it. And then on the other one, I did my old start in the middle and work your way.
Which was better for you? I think I know.
Which was the way to do it. But when I go to the open bay,
same thing. Start in the bay, in the open bay.
Start here and work my way like this.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can tack it around the edge, but don't seal it down.
Yeah.
No, don't seal the edges down. Just tack it in place. Stretch and tack it, and then you can. Come on, cat, get out of my way.
Which one are you doing? I don't remember ever seeing a red one before.
This is a Brodak Corsair converted to the Racer F2G.
That had
Oh,
the
okay.
30, that had the
Okay, that's why.
32 cylinder corncob engine in it.
Yep, 4360.
Yeah.
It's got a
called it a
different
Super
tail that I
Corsair.
haven't glued on yet because it's a lot easier to move it around. And I'm really lucky that a Brodak United canopy almost matches exactly what I needed.
Oh, excellent. Excellent.
Very
You
nice.
might also check out the one from the 60 sized Legacy.
I'll do that. Okay, so you answered my question. I appreciate it. But I really like putting the tissue and putting the monocoat on.
Isn't it nice?
It makes the wood less dent resistant, and you get a real nice stick down to it.
Yep, you can, and you can on the edges there. You know, you can really get it to stick down and shrink down tight. You
Yeah.
know, and what's
Yeah,
nice is
very
you can
nice.
put your stripes on there.
Yep.
You know, it's just you can put a stripe, put a white stripe in the middle, and you can just overlap. I always like to overlap. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. And I was able to buy a 1/32 scale graphics of the aircraft decals, and when I blow them up 300%, it's exactly the size I need for the numbers and for everything.
That'd be
Outstanding.
great.
Looking forward to seeing that.
Yeah. So Cali Graphics was supposed to get my package today.
Cali Graphics is pretty good.
Yeah.
She's real
I've
good.
never-
Kelly's real
Is
good.
she the one? Does she speak with a real heavy New York
I
accent?
actually did deal with calligraphics too. I mean, she's good. Yeah, they're very inexpensive and good job.
Yeah. And I probably 10 years ago, she had very few airplanes on her site when she did some of my RC planes. And it's always been great to work with and stuff. And the price has been really reasonable.
Well, it's the same gal I remember. She was really good, and this is like 25, 30 years ago. And she was good to work with. And, on one airplane, I told her what I wanted. She said, "Well, if you let me do it my way, I'll do it for you for free." And so I said, "Well, go ahead." And she did a beautiful job, a shadow setup with my numbers and all that. It was really neat.
Wow.
Very
Worked out
nice.
beautiful.
Well, she's in New Mexico, is where she's at.
Yeah, Albuquerque.
Albuquerque.
Yeah, Al Raby turned me on to her.
Yeah.
And she's really good. I called her and said, I've got an Al Raby Bearcat I'm doing, the BBQB. She says, which one? I said, BBQB. She says, what number you want on the side of it? I said, well, I don't see any reason to change what Al's doing. Just 201's fine. She said, that's easy. It's already in the printer, already in the computer. So I asked her the
Exactly.
price, and it was cheap.
Yeah.
Well, that's
It was really nice.
Hey, Kathy, don't
and
want
had
to-
it in about I had it in about 4 days. I didn't even think about asking her about the little friskets for fuel and no step and all that stuff, but it came in the package. She
I
sent
had
me
her
all kinds
do-
of stuff.
when I did the Sheik's Staggerwing Beach classic stunner, I
Mhm.
wanted to do it. I wanted to do it in the U.S. Embassy paint scheme, which is the old pre-World War II or early World War II,
Mhm.
blue and gold and yellow and red stripe type thing, but it
Yeah.
had a seal on the side for the London Embassy, and it had all this lettering that was under, but it was real tiny at that scale. And by golly, I got a mask that worked. It worked fine.
Yeah, some of that stuff looked like there's no way paint's going to go through this and work. But Raby says, just try it. So I
Yeah.
tried it and it worked.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Now, I'm trying to.
where did our fearless leader get to?
He just took off to the right there, or to the left there, whatever it is. I'm trying to remember who the fella is there on Stunt Hangar. What's your name? Yeah, you with the black hat.
Who,
You-
me?
you-
Yeah, you.
Dan Winship.
Dan. Damn, I haven't seen
Danny's
you.
the one that does all the molding
I've seen
carbon.
you so
that's
often
good.
in the passing years, and you look a lot different than you did the last time I really saw you. Sorry about that, Dan.
I'm getting old.
Here's a Kelly Graphics,
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Look at that.
half A.
Look at that little
That is cool.
on the rudder. Look at,
You
That
see the
is
half A
cool.
049?
yeah.
Yeah.
It's electric.
How
That's
about that?
cute.
How about
That's
that?
really cute.
But yeah, I just got one of those and told her the size, and there we are.
I'm doing
Excellent. Excellent.
F8F Bearcat that's a Brodak Bearcat, and I've been agonizing over how to paint this thing for at least the last 2 weeks, and I thought about, well, I could do it as a warbird, but I've already got the BBQB, and I could do it as Beetle Bomb, but that's been done to death. I could do it as Gulf Hawk 4, but God, that's really been done a lot lately. So I couldn't figure out what to do. And I was looking, I was over at Tom's house the other night, and he had a magazine laying out. And I think he's baiting me. I think he had it planned. It's a drone tow, blue fuselage, yellow wings, and a red stripe down the rudder. You got the wings, tail, and rudder are all yellow. And I saw that thing and said, okay, that's it. He says, yeah, take the book with you.
What about the Blue Angel scheme? Can you know?
Just light blue. It's just there's not anything on it.
Well, blue and gold.
Yeah, but that yellow orange. I would do that, but the Nobler that I've been flying for the last 2 years is, I did it to honor the Blue Angel that was killed in Tennessee when he flew the plane into the ground rather than eject and let the plane go into an apartment complex.
Yeah.
And it's Blue Angel's colors, and I'm just ready for something different.
Well, okay. Yellow's a good color because it shows up good against any background.
Oh yeah, that yellow orange shows up real good.
Yeah.
To me,
you never
it's
lose
about
it in
half a
green.
shade off of Cub Yellow.
Is it?
Yeah, it's not much off Cub Yellow.
Now I got to ask Dan a question here. Just a moment.
Okay.
So what are you doing these days, Dan?
Watching after Sparky.
Keeping him safe?
That's full-time
Keeping
job.
people from beating on him?
Yeah, I'm up here at the Nats right now. We're sharing a room. But John, I do the videos of winship models. If you ever need to get to sleep really quick, just put one of them babies on.
Oh no.
Hey John, I got some plans for you since I got your attention. It was a while back. Can you email me the PDF file? And I switched phones. And I can't find my PDF file you sent me. It was one of the first plans you put out. It wasn't the electric version.
Was it the profile Trailblazer or?
I think it's a profile. I'm pretty sure. And then you were working on an electric version.
Okay, I got both of those, and I got them there. I've got them in file folder, so I can get to them right now.
And then if you have the second version done, let me know and I'll PayPal you some money or whatever for that version.
Sounds super to me. I'd be happy to, and I'll just ship you out. I need your. I've probably got it somewhere, but send me an email or something, PDF or whatever, or PD.
Okay.
You know what I mean. I'll ship you both off.
Send him your address.
Pardon?
Send him he needs to send you his address.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I know what I'm trying to say, but trying to get it to come out.
Getting my mouth to work that way, yeah.
Yeah.
Me too. Yeah, it's terrible.
I'm hoping that from all I can tell, I mean, there's been I believe two of the Trailblazers, the IC versions that have been started, but nobody's told me they've got them built. And I haven't got a flight report on them. And that is the beta version, because I'm sure there'll be some changes, that'll be coming back. But
okay.
it was the best I could do with what I know, on you know, usually they
And
they
we're
come
gonna,
pretty
I don't
close.
see any problems with that wing. That wing is,
Well, I didn't have to
wing's
make any
pretty.
changes on the Pathfinder LE for what that I did for Gordon. But then, you know, that they went right from plans, we never built one, went right plans to, got them laser cut and built them, and those things flew great.
Oh, yeah. I know yours did. I remember yours at Brodak. That thing flew nice.
Yeah, it was a good flyer. Still is, I just haven't flown it.
Sounds like it's got a lot bigger motor in it than it's got.
Yeah, it's Stalker 61. Some people find that hard to believe. I'm sure that if I put that Stalker 66 I've got in there, it'd probably wake it up even more.
I don't know. From what I saw, it didn't need any more waking up.
Yeah.
That thing turns a corner and it did real pretty rounds. And the rounds were pretty round. That's what got me. It was round.
Well,
So
you know,
I
I
got,
have a theory. I've espoused it here many times about if you want to set up for rounds, or if you want to set up for squares. Actually, it works. Setting this up this way, I think, works both ways. But I think the ability to do nice, clean rounds is tied to your center of gravity.
mm-hmm.
And
Guys,
then,
I gotta go. I've got 70 kids summer camp tomorrow. I got some stuff I gotta get ready, but good seeing
Oh,
you, good
Lord.
talking with
Yeah.
everybody, and
good
thanks for all the
talking with
Hey,
you
info.
you know,
too.
Take care of yourself,
yeah.
Ed.
See
Good
ya.
luck with the
Good,
kids.
Alrighty,
good luck.
Yeah.
Good
cheers.
luck. Have a good time.
Thank you.
Anyway, but it's tied with your CG when you go around a circle. If you're nose heavy, then the nose gets a little heavier in there, and the circle or the loop tries to open up.
Yeah.
And if you're going around, if your tail's a little tail heavy, you go around, the tail tries to go out, and the loop tends to tighten up. So if you adjust your CG to where the plane is balanced, where the plane wants to be balanced, you can give it a certain amount of control and just hold that, and it just flies around. You're not adjusting
Yeah.
all the way around.
And a lot of times that's not where it says the CG ought to be on the plans.
Well, that's true, but that's where the CG for that airplane on that particular day at that time wants to be.
Yeah. That's the
Yeah,
reason, but that is the reason. That's the trick to it. It's not always the same. That's the reason
yeah.
you see Bob Hunt and Bill Worwidge and all the top guys go to the field and put up 10 practice flights and are over there trimming. And you think, what's the matter with these guys? Have they not flown here lately or something? No, it's not that. They're setting the plane to that day, that weather that they're flying in now. And they're just in tune enough to the airplane, they can do that. And I'm not knocking the West Coast guys by not naming them. I don't get to see them do it very often, but I've seen Bill and Bob and a lot of them do it, and it's amazing to me that they come in and they've been flying this plane for years, and they come in and they make little changes, not big changes, but little small
No, that's
changes
right.
to it for
Just a
the
little
air they're
trimming.
flying in today. It's amazing to me, but
Well,
I don't fly one airplane enough to do that.
but they
Yeah, but they
do.
know their planes very well, and they know exactly how they supposed to feel. And if they don't feel the way they like it, then they will touch it up until it feels like they like it.
Exactly.
They have
He's
the
another
feel
one
and
that
the
Tran's
knowledge.
another one that can do it.
my friend. Oh cripes, names. Things that always work.
Yeah. Oh, Bob Whiteley.
Bob Whiteley. Bob Whiteley had the ability, he could stand out, and there's others that can do the same thing.
But he was
They
the
can
best
stand
guy that
out and
saw
they
him do
can
it.
watch the airplane fly, and they can tell you, take a quarter of an ounce off the wingtip, away. Or do this, do this, do this. They could take your airplane, take it out, and they didn't fly pattern, they just flew a few maneuvers with it, and then they flew it around and landed it, came out and said, do this, this, and this, you do it, son of a gun.
Yeah.
These guys get to know how a plane is supposed to feel, look, and act in the air, and it all comes from practice.
Yeah.
It comes from knowing your airplane, putting in the flights, learning the feel. Like like Tran said, this is how the airplane's supposed to feel to them.
Bob was the best at that I've ever seen. He told me you need to take some tip weight out of that plane. And I've been flying that plane for 2 seasons. And I did take weight out and put weight in, but in that thin air, I figured I needed the weight. I took a 1/4 ounce out, put it back, flew it again, and be dadgum, he was right.
Think about it for a minute, Phil. Were you at a higher altitude?
Much higher altitude. Air was a lot thinner in Tucson.
There's a lot thinner,
than it is
so you're
here.
getting less lift. So now you got more weight out there. You got to get rid of that weight out there.
Yeah, it makes sense once you figure it out. But I was thinking, well, it doesn't matter. I was thinking wrong. It just got me that he could just watch the plane fly and tell you what to do.
Yeah.
And I was going to put this other propeller on that I figured would be better out there. And he says, no, the air's thinner. Think about it. So instead of a 10, I went to a 10.5, and it worked.
Mm-hmm.
Fox 35 will hardly pull a 10.5 here, but in Tucson it will. But then we'd also gone from 10% nitro to 15 because everybody was telling me, don't come with your regular fuel, bring 15% because there ain't no air in this air. You got to have some nitro to make up for it.
You know what I like? The difference between going from where I live to Tucson or practically anywhere else.
Yeah, you're going down.
I'm going down in altitude.
Yeah.
My plane is trimmed for a higher altitude. It's usually going to fly pretty darn decent without a whole lot of messing around. Not saying it could be made better if I only knew how. I'm not the world's greatest.
You remember a few years back they were going to hold the nationals in Lubbock, Texas?
Yeah.
And they were talking about we got to build lighter airplanes and we got to build more to outforce and all because it's windy in Lubbock and it's thin air and it's the desert and da 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 da. And I went to Lubbock just right after that, and there happened to be a hobby shop there. So I went and talked to some of the guys, and it wasn't near the deal that the guys thought it was going to be. But now I will say I've been to Lubbock when I have a T-shirt. I think I still have a T-shirt that shows a guy hanging onto a telephone pole straight out from the telephone pole. Yes, I've been to Lubbock. So,
well, I'll tell you. Do you remember when they held the Nats in Reno?
Yeah. Yeah,
and
I
they
do.
did the same thing. Everybody was building lighter airplanes, super light.
They had a lot of wings fold that year too.
Had a lot of wings fold, and even I think somebody asked Walker. This airplane was extremely light too. He didn't fold a wing though, I don't think.
No, he didn't fold his.
But he said he came away from there realizing, I believe he said, don't quote me on this, but I believe he said that he could have taken his regular airplane and it wouldn't have flown any different.
Yeah.
In other words, you make up for the difference in power and a little more nitro.
Yeah.
Better prop.
Well, I never did quite get the hang of spiking. Tom Looper did. He could figure out just how much to spike his fuel because he always started out with 5%. And I didn't. I used 5% in the winter and I used 10% in the summer. And that's what I flew. So what I always flew when I flew fuel.
Well, go ahead.
Tommy would come out with some 5 or 10, and then he'd have a jug of 20 with him or 25 with him, or it might be 40 with him, but he knew how much to spike that, whatever he had in the main jug to make it work. And that thing would run the same all day long. And he'd figured out how much to add or subtract depending on how much he added. Cause you put more nitro in it, it burns different than it does. 5% lasts a lot longer than 15% does.
That's right.
So you have to put more of the 15 in it to get the same difference. Well, Tommy had that stuff figured out, man. He was a marvel. When he won the nationals with that stunt wagon, he and Don went and found some 15 or 20% and came back and spiked, and he won the Nats with a stunt wagon. And it just old time division now.
Yeah,
But,
Have any of you guys ever put acetone in fuel?
no,
I never have, but I have put white gas in fuel.
So couple guys in the RC club, they get old fuel, gets
uh-huh,
sluggish or whatever, they'll take the cap off the jug, fill up the acetone and put it in the fuel. So I had an old gallon of fuel, probably about 5, 8 years old. It's about half full. And I had this 4-stroke, and I couldn't get it to really needle that well. Couldn't get the idle, so I thought, what have I got to lose? This is an RC plane. So I put the cap full of acetone in about a half gallon. That thing would just idle down and just tick, tick, tick.
Really?
Made all the
Huh.
difference in the world.
well, that's a neat trick.
So the acetone
Hmm.
acted as an igniter,
Right.
Yeah,
but
It's
I don't
also
know.
cleaner, doesn't it? Didn't it? Wouldn't it clean off some of the
Yeah,
gunk?
it could.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it'd be any good for stunt fuel, but I mean, if
I
you got a
know
junker,
what
Yeah.
I've done, Dan, coming from higher altitudes, one of the main problems we have, I can run a full pattern up here on a 4-ounce tank. Down like on the coast, I can get to about the overheads.
okay,
And so to extend it's an old racing tool actually. To extend the run, you raise the octane of the fuel. Okay, you can add nitro, or you can add white gas, Coleman gas. Coleman gas will bring the octane up, and it works. Tablespoon of white gas in there, and you can get another 3/4 of a minute worth of flight out of your tank and that's just enough to get through the pattern.
okay.
I remember
I figured you had a cat, I'd get my dog.
my cat got me. He did. I don't have any choice in this matter.
And I had a choice in this one, but
Pardon?
he's
What'd you say, Dan?
You never have any choice with cats, basically.
There you go. He doesn't have any choice with his terrorists there either.
not much, not usually. He's a mess. He went and had a haircut today. He's a dapper dude today.
Oh,
His legs are all full and pretty, and he's he's just been to the hairstylist, so he's all dapper today. He's got his
yeah.
new bandana on and everything. He's a mess.
Oh my goodness, yeah. Well, one of the
He's full
things
of himself all day.
One of the things that with not having enough fuel tank, you probably know this, Dan. A lot of people will put on like 12 inches of extra fuel tank, not extra fuel line. But I always wondered about that, is if it didn't restrict your draw, your suction, your fuel setup by having that extra length of fuel draw in there, even though it's coiled up. So it's not like it's still like you're drawing it from further away. And anyway, so to make it easy, going with the white gas, and I told that to Alice Cotton Royer. Yeah, she had her plane at a contest in Portland that I was at, and she kept running out of fuel, and it didn't have big enough tank, so I had her husband go over and get a gallon of Coleman fuel, Landard fuel, and by golly, it worked. And her husband, he was doing that for forever out. Anybody was getting a short run, why he'd have that fuel there and dope up the fuel with the gas,
You,
get them through.
you know what else you can do? You know what else you can do? Get a piece of hose and put over the end of the venturi. You might have to have more than one piece, but put hose over the venturi to restrict it a little bit, and it won't draw so much air, so it runs a little leaner and it goes. Well, it tries to run richer, but you have to needle it down. Needle it and it'll work. But yeah, there's a couple of ways I found to get a little bit more fuel out of it.
how does that work for you though, Phil? Because I always
Yeah, the
thought if you
Venturi,
get it,
yeah, the Venturi says what maximum RPM is gonna be, right? So you lower your max, your brake.
Well, what
Your
you do,
brake
you
is
put the
getting
hose
soft.
over it and it has to draw harder. So it's gonna
the
draw more
No,
thing
fuel
is,
if you
it's
don't
what,
needle it
what you're
down. But
doing
when you
is
needle it down,
you're leaning it out. So
well, you're
you're
leaning it
leaning
out,
it
but it's
out.
drawing
That's how
less
you're
air,
getting
so the
more.
mixture is the same. The mixture ends up the same. It's air fuel mixture is
Well,
what
yeah, the
burns.
air percentage of air and the percentage of fuel mixture is the
Yeah.
same, but it's actually a leaner mix.
Well, it is a leaner mix, but you
And
can get it
so
to run the same. I
otherwise you
don't
would,
fully understand it either, but we went to Florida, and I didn't have enough fuel, and that's what the guys were telling me to do: put 2 pieces of hose over it and just needle it to get the RPM you need, and go run it. And I thought that can't work, but it did.
yeah.
So
I
I don't
remember
quite
Gordon one
understand
year,
all
I
I know
think,
about it, but it works.
I remember Gordon one year, I've told this to you before, I think, Phil.
Yeah.
He was at a contest in California, and he'd been flying combat, and he was flying stunt, and he ran out of stunt fuel. So all he had was this 40% nitro combat fuel. So he had his Super Tiger 46 engine in this thing. He
Yeah.
put that stunt fuel in that Super Tiger 46, and he got it set. That thing four-stroked around the circle. Never broke
It had plenty of
into a
power.
two-stroke. It just, but power, oh my goodness.
I tell you what, Gordy's done some stuff, but Gordy's a motor man.
He is a
He knows what
motorman.
he
That's
knows
true.
what this stuff's gonna do. We were to Nats one year, and he was there with that big Tony, and he had the big Tony, the Heinz 57, the Colossus, and I've forgotten what else, but he was flying that big Tony. I mean, yeah, big Tony, 4-stroke.
Yeah.
And that thing is flying through the wind as good as anything out there, and it sounded like it was just chugging along.
Was it
I
a
really
four-stroke
wonder.
engine? Was it a
Yeah,
four-stroke
yeah.
engine?
I asked him what percentage nitro he was flying. He says 5%. Yeah, Gordy, I've run too many 4-strokes. I know darn well that's not 5%.
He had an 82 in that. It was my 82.
I don't know, but I tell you what, that was the best sounding 4-stroke on the field.
He ran it pretty heavy, pretty hot. It was over 10
Yeah.
grand.
Oh, it was every bit of 10 grand, but it
Yeah.
ran perfect. It just
Ran perfect.
boom.
He had it running at its peak. You know, a lot of
Yeah.
guys run them with a higher pitch prop. He was running with a 3-pitch prop, or 3 or
Oh, shoot.
3.4. And a lot of guys went down from there. They went down, started running it at the 8,000-9,000 range with like a 6 or 7 inch pitch prop. They sounded neat going around the corner. They just, they sounded like they're putting around.
Whom. Yeah,
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
something. But Gordy's a class act. Anytime he shows up, you know you're going to have fun just watching him. You're probably not going to win because he's probably going to take it, but he's really good. I enjoy watching Gordon fly. And I went back to his hotel room to see the Colossus because he wasn't flying it that day, and I wanted to get some pictures and went back to his hotel and took pictures of it and took pictures of the Heinz 57. I found the pictures today, first time I've seen them in years, and I found them today, and reminded me how pretty that Colossus was. But I'd been looking, trying to figure out how to paint mine, and I got those pictures, and I said, okay, now I know how to paint the darn thing. Change the
Was
Well,
that
AMA
the twin
numbers and build
plane?
it just do what?
Was it twin plane Colossus or was it?
no,
It's a
the
No,
twin.
no, Colossus is a Jim Tichy design. It looks like a big Cobra. It's a
Okay.
I-beam wing
Uh-huh.
do you know
plane from the 60s.
the last two airplanes that Jim Tiki contested were Pathfinder LEs?
No, I didn't know that. That's neat.
Oh, yeah. He built his first one. He liked it so much, he built a second one. The second one has never been flown. I think Gordon's got it hanging on the wall. And he can't fly it because Tiki flew the opposite way. He flew clockwise.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
How does anybody get into control line and end up going counterclockwise?
depends on the area you were counterclockwise. That's the way we all fly.
Well, I mean clockwise.
It depends on where you start learning and who you learn from. There were some people that figured that the counterclockwise turning the prop effects and all that, you're better off to fly clockwise because then the plane tends to stay out.
You know my theory on that?
Go ahead.
Somebody built an airplane and ran the lead outs out the wrong wing and said, "Ah, heck with it, I'll just stick with it."
Well, how about the guys that fly with
could
their
be.
handle like
probably
this
right.
or like this? Okay, the guys that fly their handles like this or like
Yeah.
this. Think about it. Remember the box art on the Ringmaster kit?
Yeah,
How was the guy holding his handle?
yeah.
Well, there was a guy here that had a, God, I can't remember what it was, but it was an airplane, one of the early ones that had, like a inch-and-a-half difference in the wings, asymmetry. And he built the plan showed it out the right wing, and he built it out the right wing, the asymmetry, but the plan showed the lead outs going out that wing, and he put them out the other one.
Uh-oh.
Oh, so he had to carry extra weight in the tip
I'll
to make that
bet.
thing fly right. But I'm telling you what, it flew, and it flew well. He was no joke with it.
I see Joe Gilbert won old time.
Do what?
Joe Gilbert won old time.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, with a ringmaster.
Yeah.
That's not a surprise. I wanted to see what plane Sparky flew. He won the Concorde, the Pilot's
He
Choice
won-
with.
He won
Simply Blues.
Gypsy Blue.
Simply Blues, yeah.
Would he-
Simply Blues.
Was that the one he flew in what is it, Advanced? I think. What did he win?
No, that Simply Blue is an advanced, an expert airplane. He flew N30 or Classic. Oh, he can fly that one.
N30,
in
I bet it was
Classic. That's
N30.
right.
Yeah.
That's right. He can fly that one in Classic because it's his design that's that old.
Yeah.
Son of a gun. Okay, cool deal.
So on this handle deal, you talk about handle like this, or some people fly inverted like this, with their hand. Art
Yeah.
had a mission in a stunt clinic. He said, if you can get away from that, try to get away from doing that. If you hold your handle like this, if the plane leads one way or the other, it doesn't change the control.
It doesn't.
You have your handle like this. If the plane gets behind or ahead of you, basically it's like giving it up and down.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So if you're
There's no,
inverted
yeah,
like
that's,
this, you have more of a tendency to start hunting
Yeah.
like that.
that's when I fly with my hand like this.
Yeah,
So my handle is vertical, then my lines go straight out, right? So I
Right.
know I don't have more pull on one line. If you fly like this and you try to go up, it's very easy, but try to go down, it's a lot of pull on that down line.
yeah,
So my plane would not turn outside at all. As soon
right.
as I went back to neutral, where I have up and
Put it
down
vertical.
equally, and I have equal pull on the lines, it didn't care no more.
Right.
And all of a
But when-
sudden, I was just completely different plane. So,
But
So-
what we're talking about, Trajan, is when you're holding your hand either this way or
Yeah.
this way.
yeah,
A lot of
I
guys
know.
do it this way
Invert, yeah, the
because-
same thing applies inverted. Yeah,
Right.
and
right.
I said in addition to that, when you fly inverted, you fly
okay.
like this. You're nice and balanced, right? But
Right.
when you also have the benefit of having up and down, equal,
Right.
and the lines are going nice and even to the plane to the point that's not.
You're talking to the choir.
See, if your lines are biased on the bottom here, like I'm exaggerating, right? They're gonna pull your hand up, so you have to fly always just tugging on them, right? Or
Yep.
if you fly with the hand like that, they are above, right? Same thing happens.
Yeah.
Only now you're pulling here, right?
Well, if you
But
like to have the
once-
relaxed grip, learn to fly with your hand right here.
Exactly. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Okay.
What gets me is talking as far as the handle, holding the handle. What gets me is the guys that fly along and you think they got their arm bent and you think, okay, they got it made, but then they go to do say a wing over and they don't go. They go, they really
Yeah.
swing their hand. And I'm
Yeah.
sitting there, your turn would be a lot nicer if you just turned your hand, because all this mess, you're pulling slack in the line, because invariably they go right back and then they got slack in the line and the airplane's up there walling around like a dying gopher. I don't know.
My biggest beef
Wing
on
over is very difficult. It's a
my
very
biggest
difficult
beef
maneuver.
on the,
Trying to put both one on top of each other, and then or your cross to be nice and straight and clean, when you don't change directions. And everybody, when they turn their bodies around on overhead, they turn their bodies around. You can see the plane changing directions, and completely
yeah.
different.
that's exactly what I was gonna say. My biggest beef with the reverse wing over is if you're coming along, you give it up and you keep your hand this way as you go up, you're gonna wind up having to turn your hand as you turn around. Okay?
Now what
But
they
if you
told me
go
was
up, let me
plant your
finish.
feet.
Let me finish here, Phil.
Oh yeah.
But if you go up and then turn your hand so that this is the bottom of your airplane, this is the top of your airplane. You go up, turn your hand, go right on over, come over, and when you get about here, you just straighten your hand back down.
Yeah.
You get your bottom, you come out.
Yeah.
Now, what he said about hitting the reverse part, that's up to you, buddy. That's the tough part. You gotta gauge where you start from and the time but it's the same thing. I
I
wind
pick
up
one of the judges and I climb on him, but you have to realize you can't turn when the plane hits the judge, right? You have to tell
right.
him before that.
Yeah,
You have
that's a
to
good
turn
idea to
before it,
always
yeah.
do that. But I found that if what I'll do before I get there, I'll set myself up so I'm facing 90 degrees past where I want to turn. So I'm facing there and I'll look back and I'll bring it when I hit where I'm feel straight across, then I give it that up and I go over. I don't even move my feet. I come down, hit down, come around, and it helps me. I'm not perfect at it, but it helps me gauge where the start and the stops are.
Yeah.
So that I don't, and I'm not having to turn around going up here, so I don't get that little dog leg up at the top. Because you don't want that dog leg, because you get pointed down for that every single time. Believe me, it's the most
There's
obvious.
a lot of people to do that too. It's amazing.
Yeah,
They
it's the
start up
obvious,
and then
most
you see
obvious
them.
mistake that's made on that maneuver.
Yeah. Yeah.
Of
And
course,
it's a very
Dan,
fixable
I know
one,
you
but they
never
do
did
it.
that, right, Dan?
Dan never
I
did
went
it.
to
Oh, I don't
Romania.
know.
No,
I
Dan
haven't
never
seen
did it.
Dan fly enough to know how he flies.
When I went to Romania after the competition, one day later, I went with my auntie out to a soccer field over there, so to show her my flight, right?
Right?
And I was in a zone that day. Man, I was nailing everything. I was
Ah,
flying like a maniac.
it's too bad you couldn't have got the judges there that day, huh?
I still won it.
Yeah, but you could have won it bigger.
Oh my God, I just clobbered them.
Yeah.
What looks like you're repairing accident damage. What happened?
I am not repairing any accident damage. I'm installing some hardware, hard points in a plane.
Oh, okay. A new one?
Yes,
Ah, cool.
this is a new plane. And actually, I installed some of my other um, hardware. The ones that was like 530 seconds. No, it's 832 screws, right?
Yeah.
And I didn't like that one because it failed on me one time. So I decided to tear this apart, take them out, and replace them uh, with the ones that I modified today. Uh, I have some that I modified, and they have the correct bigger screws.
832 is pretty big.
Yeah, yeah, but it failed
They failed.
because they were in tension.
Uh,
They were in a very hard tension. So I decided on my main spar from now on to use the metric 5, which is technically a 1032 screw.
yeah, yeah.
Mm.
Hey, you guys were talking about doing the wing over a few minutes ago,
Yeah,
and whenever I practice my wing overs, when I know I'm gonna do it, I'll plant my left foot, and then I'll bring the plane into the vertical, and then I extend my arm completely out, and I have my shoulders squared. And so when I bring my arm completely out, I just follow it all the way up over my head. And if I know my shoulders are squared, then I know my arm's gonna go where I want it to go, correct?
yeah.
Mhm.
And then when it
Very
comes
good.
down, I just pull out. Now, is
That's
that the wrong
similar.
way?
That's similar to what I do, Carl. But I
Okay.
plant both feet, and I'm looking 1/4 of the circle away from where I'm going to start. So I'm looking
Right.
that way, and I stop, plant both feet, and then I'll give it up here, turn my hand so that I'm not pulling one way or the other on up or down line going up over the top. So that keeps it centered. And then it just comes over, it comes right straight down, turn my hand back to where it's upright, hit down and come out. You know,
But do you extend your arm all the way out though?
yes, I do.
Okay. All right.
It's
I just
the
want to
whole
make
idea
sure
is
I
to
was
get this motion and you get it
Yeah.
to where, because your feet are locked, you've got a good reference
right.
than trying to stand there and turn with when you go across to making sure that you're square to the circle.
Right. Okay. All right. Thank you.
Yeah,
I think even more important is to watch the tracking of the plane.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't
yeah.
know what I do with my feet or my hand or anything like that, but I'm looking at the plane and I'm looking where I was and way ahead of it, and I know where I'm going to, right?
hmm
Right.
Kind of keep that tracking as straight as possible, right?
Right.
Yep.
Yeah. That's the reason why I extended my
That's my
arm out.
focus exactly. So for me, I kind of try to fly like 40, like you would fly with your hand, not to your side, but about 45 degrees behind you, right? So now you stop, you wait for it to come, you hit it, right? And now from there you just track the plane, keep it
Yeah.
nice and straight
But
all
see
the
how
way
you're
through.
bending your elbow though? I don't do that.
Well, you can do that, but
I
I
just
tend to
keep
keep
my
it
arm.
straight.
I just keep my arm locked, and I
Mhm.
kind of keep an eye where I want the plane to
So
go over here.
just fly the plane. Just put it on the path that
Yeah.
you want to. Like
Let
But
the
I
plane
take a piece of chalk and draw
uh
with it.
let the
Okay.
plane fly the circle. Try
right.
to avoid giving any in any
Maneuver.
control that
Input.
as much as possible. You want to lock it in
Yeah.
and let the airplane fly. Now, if it's trimmed well, it should stay flying. If you've got your handle set at neutral and you're holding neutral, it should fly a straight
Yeah.
line over there.
Mhm.
The
Right.
last thing you want to see is you want to see, there's a couple of things, but we won't talk about high bottoms in the start and the finish or anything like that.
No.
But
No.
But the last things you want to see is don't want to see you go up, and then as you come down because you made a step or turn, you'll see a little kink up there, somewhere in this area. You see a little
Yeah.
kink right there,
Right.
and they'll come down over here instead of directly 180
Yeah.
degrees across.
Yeah.
You don't want that. How you do it is you keep it playing where you're not getting any influence and where you're not turning. If you can avoid turning,
Turning.
use
Yeah.
your body to gauge your reference, not turning your feet. You can turn your shoulders a little bit. You'll have to
Right.
get it down,
Right.
but get it down, and you just feel better because you got yourself locked into some real feeling. You're tied up to the old Mother Earth there with your feet.
Right, right. Yeah,
And if
and the other reason why I lock my arm is so that I can kind of keep an eye on the lines, that my lines are straight when I'm playing. I can kind of tell what the plane's doing.
Yeah,
In other words, am I too far forward or too far back? Because
Yeah.
I got my arm as a reference point.
that's a good point as well. 'Cause
Keeping out a corner of
you
my
turn it-
eye and bringing it over, and then
If you can turn it, get it up at about 40, right around 45 degrees, I'll stop and just let it fly over because I'm looking over here.
right,
And then, you know, if it's flying straight here and I got enough line tension, it's going to fly over the rest of the way
sure,
without me even having to look at it.
right,
But I want to see it when it comes in, is it still going straight? And if it isn't, then I did something up there. Now, here's the
right,
thing. You don't want to make a tweak up the top and then correct it down to the tweak halfway down. Just eat it. But you
yeah,
learn that maybe you might have to look at it until you get up overhead and then, let it come down.
right,
You got to play with it. It's training,
sure,
muscle memory, and all of that.
yeah,
I had
At least that's the way I've done it over the years. But I'm not an expert class flyer. Pretty decent advanced class when I was flying, but
I'm a
No.
beginner.
beginner. Yeah.
Well, you know more than I do, and I appreciate your knowledge, any of you guys' knowledge. So I was just asking to make sure I was practicing correct.
How do you feel about it? Are you getting good wing overs?
Yeah, I am. I think I am.
Yeah. Do you have somebody there to look at them that knows what
No,
they're looking
not
at?
anymore.
What about your
Um,
wife? Can she?
no, she's not interested in my hobby.
That's the hard part. Is
Just like I'm not
finding a
interested in
flying
her.
buddy.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Like
That
I
sucks.
said,
Ask me how I know that.
you know, it looks good for me from inside the circle, but someone outside of the circle can say, "Oh no, it was behind you, or it was in front of you, or But
Yeah. Yeah.
anyway, but
Did you
Yeah.
guys
That's
ever
the
use
hard
this
part.
debonder?
What debonder?
Yeah, yeah, I've used it
Is it good?
for CA.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nitromethane, did the same thing.
That's what it
But
is.
yeah, I've used it. You have to let it soak in good, and then you can kind of twist it a little bit, just help it out, and it'll break it loose, and you can take it apart.
I'm not gonna use it to
That's done.
break loose. I have some blobs of glue here. Yeah, that one don't want to see them.
Acetone will dissolve it, won't it?
You see
Yeah.
that? Like here.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, little acetone or the debonder, just put it on there real light, and then give it a few minutes and just rub on it. Take your
Okay.
knife or something and just rub at it, yeah, and it'll eventually let go. But just don't put a whole blob on it. Just put just a little bit on it.
Right.
Okay.
And
Tran,
acetone or nitromethane, same thing. It all do the same thing.
are you still working with all those kids?
Yes. Yes. I have a new class, about 20 kids this coming semester.
Really?
Yes.
Well, congratulations, my friend.
What are you building there? Looks like
Looks
a wing to a
glider
sailplane.
wing.
It's an RES, rudder
Ah,
elevator spoiler.
yeah, very nice. 2 meter?
Yep.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Hey,
Pretty.
Wow, look at that.
That's your own design?
It's a kit I bought.
hey,
This
Tryon, why
is-
don't they use tubes on stunners like that?
Yeah, absolutely. I'd go for it. Actually, I have one more for you. You can buy the rectangular tubes from what's the name of that? Aloft Hobbies. Okay, they have rectangular sections tubes as well.
Yeah, a lot of
So
times.
they have
they
like a
tubes for
5 millimeter by 6 millimeters, 5 millimeters by 3 or by 4, something like that. And those are just, oh my God, you put that on your plane, you'll never fold the wing.
Right, and then they have
It's
telescopic.
just not
tubes,
possible.
too. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, always wondered why they didn't use more tubes instead of those.
Well, the problem that I've had trying to use tubes is the bell crank. Get the bell crank around it. And the easiest solution to it that I've seen, and I've never figured out how to build one, is have your spar in the middle and use about it's not 1 inch, but it's close to it, spar, right in the middle of the wing. The bell crank goes right on top of through the shed. Oh God, I can't talk. Anyway, right on top of the spar.
Yeah,
But the bell crank has to come over the spar and then come down and then come out so that your lines can attach to it.
Why?
The
I
guy
mean, you
from
can put
Brazil did that.
you can put bell crank anywhere you want to. Just make it touch the carbon tube and you're done.
Well,
On one side or the other, really doesn't matter.
I'm
I
gonna try
remember,
to do
Yourself
one
a piece
again.
of plywood underneath the carbon tube with a hole in it, right?
Yeah,
You make a 1/8 inch hole, you cut your piece of plywood, whatever, right? Put it cross grain, 90 degrees to the tube, right?
yeah.
And then you just glue to the tube and the bell crown goes right through it. And you're done. You don't have to
Well,
complicate
I
things.
understand the mounting the bell crank's not the problem. It's getting around that darn carbon fiber tube. Because
Why?
the
Because
tube's
it's
right where the
round?
bell crank needs to be.
Oh, what are you talking about? The take apart system?
Yeah,
I wouldn't do that.
it sure works. It works on the RC planes really well.
True. True, but they have play in them and the wing is gonna do this.
be right back.
Well, not
It's much
much. I mean,
simpler, Phil. It's much simpler. Build a wing exactly like you do it, except put a layer of unidirectional carbon between the spar and the sheeting,
yeah,
right? And then you
Mhm.
tie into that. You tie into that on the root of the wing if you want to have a take apart, and get yourself a flat piece of carbon fiber plate, say
Yeah.
a millimeter and a half or 2 millimeters, right? Okay.
Hmm.
So right on the root, you're gonna have a rectangular or maybe like a triangular shape of carbon fiber plate, right? That
Yeah.
ties into that glues on the top of your wood spar, and you have this unidirectional on top of it, right?
Yeah.
Makes sense? And on top of this is the sheeting.
Yeah.
And all you have to do is just drill a hole through it, okay?
Yeah.
Drill a hole through the carbon fiber plate and put a screw over there with a nut, and come on the bottom of it with another plate
Yeah. Same
that
thing.
you can also make it out of the same carbon fiber plate, the flat one, cut it, say, half an inch wide, for example, drill the holes on the both ends and put some blind nuts in there.
Yeah.
And that's going to go underneath. So when you tighten up the screw, when you go flat on flat like this, even though I
Yeah.
have like clearance for the head of the screw and stuff like that, once you clamp it down, they don't slip. Makes
Yeah.
sense?
No, they won't
Because
go
the
anywhere.
screw puts a lot of pressure over there, and the friction force that's generated, it's enough to hold your wing just
Yeah, it
fine in
makes
place.
sense. Okay. I
And
may
it's
give that a
simple,
try.
man.
I'm
It's just
trying to build
simple.
a little I'm trying to build a little take apart system, a little take apart airplane that I can just throw in the back of the sports car and take flying and bring home.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Uh,
see a lot of people just complicate the shit out of things. That's the one it doesn't
well,
have to
yeah,
be. You
I'm
want to
guilty
take
of that.
apart? Yeah, take apart simple. You have a plate here, one on top. We have a screw that goes through both of them with a blind nut on the other side. Done. You have a take apart system.
Okay.
It's
I'll give
not
that a
complicated,
shot.
really.
I'll give that a shot.
hey, Gary,
Yeah.
hey, look at, see which direction. Look at,
Oh,
Sparky.
Lord.
look at him. He's, yeah, look at that.
Put
He
some
done zonked
toothpaste on
out.
his nose.
10
Put
What's
some
he
o'clock
doing?
and he
toothpaste on
zonked
his
out
nose.
already.
Oh, it's his
Huh? Huh?
paw. Tickle him.
He's out like a light.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's not gonna like me too much once you're gonna watch this tomorrow.
Oh, Lord.
He's gonna go, oh, Troy, now it's not up to no good. I'm gonna get him.
Uh,
Oh, Lord.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
Phil. I got into this 2 meter I just want to build something, right? I haven't built something in a long time, and I was actually building with so much pleasure, and I was actually working on both of these planes, getting ready to put them in the air. I mean, this plane is going to fly this weekend, the new Revolutions, and I was building on this one too, and I was such both content and calm and just enjoying the day, and I kept going.
Yeah. You know, that's what I have found is I enjoy just getting down there and banging around. I don't enjoy painting. That's a pain in the butt for me, but I enjoy just building and getting them ready to paint, getting them up to the point of painting. I really enjoy, but I had a guy
Yeah,
come
you
down
don't have
from
to tell
Tennessee.
us that you don't like painting.
Well, I said, I know.
We already
Yeah,
kind of know
yeah,
that. We
yeah,
already kind of know that, Phil.
Yeah.
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 I had a guy come over from Tennessee and he
How
wanted
many projects you have to finish now?
too
A
many.
100?
No, there's 11.
A
There's
100?
11 of them now. Well, 9 now. You don't add, you take it away.
Oh
I
my
finished
God.
one. I finished
Take
one and got it out the door.
take
Guy
one
came
of
over.
them and do not do anything else until it's finished. Then
That's
move
what
to
I'm
the next
doing.
one.
But I'm working on 3 at once. One of them I should
The
be able to
Sparky.
finish in a couple of hours. If I could have
Yeah.
found my stripper, it would be finished today.
We
But I'll finish it
your
tomorrow.
stripper. Oh shit. Are we
Oh,
talking
yeah.
strippers again?
Now here we go, strippers again.
Yeah.
Oh Lord.
Yeah.
But no,
Man, Phil.
I cannot figure out that it's really bothering me. I cannot figure out what I did with that darn thing. I don't lose tools. I mean, I'm usually so meticulous I can pick my tools up without looking. I have them in a drawer. I pull the drawer out, my tools are in there, I reach in and grab something. And I literally reached in to grab it. I couldn't find it. And I had to stop, raise up and turn around and look in the drawer, and it's not there. I can't figure out what the heck I did with it.
Hey, Phil, you didn't lose your tool. You just misplaced it.
Yeah, I misplaced it. All right. I looked for 2 hours today and I couldn't find it.
Oh, I hate
Whoa.
when that
Whoa,
happens.
what was that?
Hey,
Yeah,
Phil,
my
if you
chair
want to
let
find
go.
it, you know how to find it easy?
How's that?
The easiest way to find a lost tool is buy another one.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
As soon as I buy a new
Yeah.
one, as soon as I buy a new one, I'll find the old one.
Exactly.
Yeah, and
So
as
just
as-
go ahead and buy another one.
as the joke goes along with that, it'll be in the last place that you look is when you're gonna find it, right?
Yeah, that's what I can't understand. I don't know where the heck I could have put
I
the
know.
darn thing. But
Well,
I'll find it.
you're not alone. You're not alone, Phil. I've done that so many times.
Yeah, it's aggravating, but it's just part of life.
I tell you what I do, I put something away. I used to put something in tubs and I'd stack them all up and I'd put them somewhere. I'd go out and buy another paint roller or a caulk gun just so I wouldn't have to move a bunch of stuff.
Yeah,
That's-
I've done that, and I go, okay, I know I put it away somewhere, so now I'm going through about 15, 20 boxes, and okay, here it is. I remember
yeah,
now.
but I'm serious. My
Yeah.
stuff,
Yeah.
I've got a toolbox there. And I know what drawer it's in, so I pull that drawer out and I reach in. I never even have to look. I reach in and grab the tool, close the drawer, use the tool, clean the tool, open the drawer, put it back. I never have to look. I find it with my fingers. The guys I used to work with told me that I had eyes in the end of my fingertips because I could find my tools without looking for them. And it's just putting the tool back in the same place every time.
Yeah.
I cannot fathom how I set it down in another place. But hey, stuff happens.
Yeah.
I'm getting old. Somebody could have called me or something. I had to run upstairs or something and just laid it down somewhere and don't remember where. It'll show up. Like you say, I'm going to the hobby shop in the morning, and if they've got a new one, I'm gonna buy a new one because that one is about 30 years old. I'm gonna go get a new one. The new ones are black. That one's gray, light gray. And I'm gonna go get a new one and bring it home, and I probably won't get it in the drawer 10 minutes before I'll find the old one. But I've been 3 days now looking for the darn thing and I can't find it and I want to fly this airplane. So it's an airplane. If I can get it finished, I will go out and try to fly it, but I'm not going to risk one of my new ones.
Hey,
I'm,
Phil,
mhm.
whenever that happens to me, instead of just opening up the drawer and looking for something, whatever it is I've lost, I'll have learned I'll take every single thing out of that drawer just to make sure it's not hiding under something else.
Well, it's not hiding. I mean, you open the drawer,
Well, you know,
it's just one
yeah.
layer of stuff. You can
Yeah.
see what's there.
Yeah.
So it's, I don't know. I've got enough drawers. I bought a big enough toolbox that everything's got its own spot. I did the same thing when I worked on copiers. I did the same thing when I worked on sports cars. Well, I still work on my sports car, but anyway, all the tools have a place and I put them back in that place. And if I get more tools, I get more place. I get a bigger box or something. And I have never had this problem before, but I put my hand in there and it wasn't there. What the heck? And this is a drawer that's got sharps in it. So, I mean, you don't just reach in there and grab in there. You pretty well figure out where it is and put your hand there. But it wasn't there. What can I tell you? It just wasn't there.
What's the
So I
last
got to
plane you
figure out
worked
what
on?
happened. Yeah.
What's the last plane you worked on?
I
You
can't
might have
remember.
used it.
I can't remember. That's probably what happened, Gary. I probably was working on something at some other spot and somebody called or came over or something. Good night, baby. And I had to lay everything down and go do something different and just laid it down somewhere wrong and did not go back and pick it up. But I looked all over the shop. I did not find it. So I don't know. I'll look tomorrow. I'll find it tomorrow. After I buy a new one, I almost guarantee you the old one will show up. Because ain't nobody been in the shop but me. So I did something stupid. I don't know what I did, but I did something stupid.
How much does one of those cost?
About $10. They're not expensive. If the hobby shop has it.
Yeah.
That's the big thing. It's not for a foam airplane, so they may not have it.
What is it, a master air screw?
Yeah. Yeah, just a stripper with a number 11 blade on it.
I bet you could get that on Amazon. I bet you could have it at your doorstep tomorrow.
I might just
Oh,
look.
you find
I
the other
think I
one,
will.
yes.
I believe I will. I'll just look.
What'd they miss?
Nothing much.
Strippers.
Mhm.
I
Not
mean,
much.
Strippers.
You missed all the strippers, John.
Strippers.
Oh no! I didn't hear the music at all.
Oh, see, you go away for a minute and look what happens.
Yeah,
He's gonna get
it's
on
noisy little
Amazon.
John.
yeah.
He's gonna get on Amazon and get a stripper delivered to his door.
Yeah.
You know,
Can you
whenever
do that?
Oh, I hadn't thought about it like that.
Can you
Whenever-
do that? Hey, do you have to write a what do they call it? Where you have to give them 5 stars and write a little review on it?
Baby cute.
whenever I lose a tool and can't find it, I always blame it on the
I look-
leprechauns that come to my
I
house.
got one of
at
those
night
like
when
that, but it's
sleeping.
black.
Yeah,
Huh.
the new ones are black.
Master air screw, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Those are nice. They work good. I've used those for years.
I love mine.
Okay,
What is
make
a-
sure you-
yeah.
Was that a wire stripper? Is that what that was?
No, that's
No.
a balsa stripper.
$17
Also stripper.
master air screw.
Yeah.
Prime today. It's gonna
The thing
arrive
is
on
when you use that,
July
you want to get the
9th.
wood all the way up in there, because if it's down there, that blade can flex a little bit, and so it might not stay whatever dimension you put it.
My goodness, look at that. That sucker's blue. It's pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you already have it? Okay.
I've already found it, $14.99. It's a little more expensive, but I can have it delivery by July 10th through the 14th.
It's
Yeah.
4 days.
14th won't do me any good. I'll already be gone to Alaska, but
Amazon has it on July 9th. In 2
yeah,
days.
that's what they're saying here. Yeah.
You know, when they
Our
quit
fastest delivery Thursday, July the 10th. It's in Atlanta. No wonder you can get it so quick.
yeah. When
So
they quit
what-
making prop pitch gauges, you know,
Yeah, I've
I
got one of
waited and
those.
searched and I finally found one and I bought it. I haven't even put it together.
Yeah.
My dad
I
used to
got
have
one.
my dad used to have a thing on a picture in his room. It was someone had done it in thread. I've forgotten what you call it, but it said man searches. It had a picture of a sailing ship. Man searches the world in search of his desire, only to return home to find it.
Ah, that's true.
Yeah. Mm.
I tell you what,
Yeah.
I think I will just go ahead and order this blame thing.
You talk about strippers. I work for a printing place, and that's what I was called, a stripper. So we had a lot of
Oh,
fun
yeah.
with it. You know, what do you do? I'm a stripper.
Oh Lord.
Yeah.
so that balsa wood stripper, what exactly do you do with it?
Well, for instance,
You
let's
cut
just say you
1/4-inch
need some.
strips.
Let's
You
say
have a
you
piece of
need
1/4-inch
one
wood and you want a
16th by
quarter.
1/16 for a
Yeah.
flight streak. You can take a 16th-inch sheet of balsa and you can set it up for a 16th-inch wide strip. You just run it down there. Now you got a 16th by 16th strip.
Oh, okay. All
Or
right,
if you
got it.
need a 16th by an eighth or an eighth by an eighth, or I'll let you out just a minute.
Great for making cap strips and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I did Sparky's trick, and Sparky had talked about that, and I started doing it. I started, instead of making them,
I'll be back.
I've
I gotta let
always
the
made my
dog out.
cap strips a quarter. Now I make them 3/16.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know what kind of dog John's got, but that little guy's got a voice.
It's a
If
little
you
white
let me out
dog.
now, are you gonna clean up a mess?
I remember seeing a little white dog.
Yeah, that was a little white one that I remember was Steve Smith's,
Okay.
but John might have one too. I don't know. I can't remember what John's got.
Sort of a lap dog.
Oh yeah,
There's
I've got a friend that's got what is that thing called? Um, it's the size of a water dog and looks like a poodle.
yeah.
I've forgotten what you call it, but every time I go over there, the darn thing used to get up my lap when it was a puppy. When it was a puppy, it fit. Well, now it's 95 pounds. It don't fit anymore. But she still thinks she can get up in my lap.
You still think she's a puppy?
Yeah, she does. Boy, she can play. This one can play all day. I mean, this little guy just does not get tired at all. But boy, when he does finally stop playing, when I poop out, he'll go over on the couch and lay down and go to sleep. Try to keep him off the furniture, but it does not work. At least he has not yet, clarified, has not yet had an accident on the furniture.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Dan, how many bell cranks
Yeah.
did you bring to sell?
I've been giving them away. I brought probably 15 of them. I just been giving
Giving them away.
yeah,
Oh,
handing them
you know
out.
what? I gave a piece for the last 2 windshield bell cranks I
I'm gonna
got.
give you some, Phil.
Yeah, I know, but I'm gonna take all I can get because I've got 4 projects coming up I don't have bell cranks for.
I'll
I'm
make
gonna catch you in October, Trey.
I'll make some more.
Okie doke.
So
This
you're
little guy's
you're not
looking
gonna-
like, well, are you gonna pet me already?
so you're not coming up to the nets, are you, Phil?
No, they don't. They. I found out I was supposed to be wearing a neck brace. I was not supposed to be driving,
Oh
and I
man.
have not. And I have not been wearing a neck brace, and I have been driving. So, my doctor didn't tell me a whole lot. Well, I haven't seen my doctor. I've seen the other. He's been on vacation. Come on, get down. Good boy.
You know where the L pad is and the big gravel lot
Oh, yeah.
where we park? Me and another guy were sitting there talking. Our vehicles are up there by the stairs, you know, where you walk up to.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
And this car, just like a four-door sedan, it comes down like you're coming from the farmhouse, you know, where you register. So it's headed towards the gate. And this car comes and it jumps that curb. You know that curb that goes into the gravel lot? It's pretty thick, right?
Yeah, it's a good
Oh.
sized drop.
This car comes by pretty fast, hits that curb, goes up, scrapes the hell out of the bottom of it, and lands in the ditch. And we looked at each other and I thought, oh my God, and nothing happened. Nobody got out of the car or nothing. And we waited probably about 15 seconds. I said, we really need to go check. Somebody might have had a heart attack or stroke or something, you know. So we started walking towards the car, and I get maybe 6 foot from the window, and I'm looking in there, and the lady rolls down her window. Well, she already went around the other side, I guess. I saw her get out of the passenger side, and the lady went around and got in the driver's side. She rolls down her window, and there's like a little 16, 17-year-old girl was driving it. They're teaching her how to drive. And
Oh, Lord.
she ran off the road, hit that curb, went in a ditch. I'm thinking, thank God the kid didn't hit another car or somebody walking, or I
Yeah.
mean, going fast enough and killed somebody. But
I mean, how bad you have to be to do that?
yeah, I'll
That's
tell you
not
what,
real smart.
I've got a boy and a girl, and I'll tell you what, my boy, you could teach him to drive when he's 10. That girl, she'd tear up. Oh man, I'm not even gonna get into it, but
Dan, I had two girls. I know
I'm
exactly
teaching
what you're
my
talking
boy how
about.
to drive now.
say what, Fred?
My boy
Mm.
got his driving permit. I'm
Okay,
teaching him how to drive now. He
yeah.
took me to the Chipotle the other day. Yay.
Yeah.
God, that shit is stressful, man. I swear to God.
Dan, what you do before you let them get their driver's license, you
Yeah,
make them show you that they know how to change the oil and change the tire.
yeah.
If they can change the oil, they can remember how to check it. So they won't burn the motor up because it didn't have any oil in it.
Oh, yeah,
Then if they can change the tire, they won't be stranded out in the middle of nowhere. So
yeah.
make them change the tire and change the oil one time before they get their before you let them get their driver's license. And then you'd be surprised how much you don't have to worry
I know.
after that.
Yep.
Yeah, you
I'll,
gotta teach them
I'll
to
still
tip.
have an year for that to happen. He can only get his driver's license 1 year and 1 day from the moment he's got his permit. So,
Uh,
so I still have 1 year till then. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I must be the lucky one because my daughter ended up being a better driver than my boys were. I don't know why it turned out that way, but that's just the way it was.
I got one that thinks she's a better driver, and then I got one that my youngest daughter, she could take the car apart and put it back together and it'd run. She's amazing. And she's as far as woodworking tools, she comes over and uses my tools. She's as good as I ever was. She absolutely, when I show her how to do something, she listens. And she
Are
can
you
pick
sure
up, she's
she's a
picked it
girl?
up. She's a girl. She's beautiful. Both of them are beautiful. But one of them's anyway, they're both beautiful, but the youngest one is definitely a girl, but I'm telling you what, she can do any darn thing she sets her mind to.
Nice.
Maybe because you taught her right.
I don't know. It's amazing to me. Twice in my life, females listen to me. My wife, I told you this story a few months ago, but anyway,
Say twice in your life, you first time and the last time, or what?
that was it. First time and last time. Yeah. My wife and I were on our 40th anniversary and she bought a gun, stunned the heck out of me. We went to the target range and she listened. Before we left the target range, she was hitting the 10 ring. Not every
Oh, wow.
time, but she was hitting the 10 ring and she was shooting it safely. She learned to put her thumbs, everything.
Yeah.
What you
And
guys got?
really, huh?
What did you get?
That one was, she's got a Smith and Wesson 22. Then she's
Oh,
got
22.
a Glock 19. Then she's got a,
Uh-huh.
there's one, at least one other one. I don't remember. It's a,
You know, the Glock pump
dadgum,
is
I
made
bought
by
it for her and I can't remember what it is. I shoot a Glock 30S.
Yeah.
That's what I have now. I have a
No,
21.
probably I made
think.
those.
Huh? Yeah, I know. I see your shirt.
Here comes caffeine.
Yeah,
Yeah, here
there.
comes caffeine.
Hi.
We had a, I love to shoot, but I'm gonna have to downstage from a 45 down to a 9mm. My wrist can't take 50 rounds of 45 anymore.
Just saying.
Yeah. Yeah. I've got a perfection trigger in mine and I don't have the guide rod yet. I'd like to have the guide rod for a 30S, but I don't have it. I still got the plastic one in there. But they make some nice metal parts for it that really work. That new trigger, oh, that was the biggest change I've ever made in a gun. That thing went from I could hit the target to I could hit the 10 ring. It's cool. I like that.
Hi, Gordon.
But
Hi, guys.
how are you, sir? Good to
Mr.
see
Coppin.
I'm sick.
Oh, don't give it to us now.
Yeah, I kind of cold, and boy, it's knocking the crap out of me.
What you gonna do that for?
Well, what do you mean by kind of cold?
Boy, you ain't got a kind of cold. You down gone got it.
Exactly. That's not having a kind of a cold. It's having a cold.
Gordon, how did you catch a cold this time of year, Bubba?
Well, my son
chicks
had it out here in Aptus on the weekend, and he was sicker than a dog. Now,
Had
so
somebody give it to
Been
you.
burning.
I tried to keep my distance.
Didn't work.
Be careful with your pizza, John. Gordy's gonna cough on it.
I better turn my computer down.
Oh Lord.
Gordy, they messing with you? I kick their ass, man.
Well, if I wasn't so sick, I probably could, but at least 40 years, maybe 40 years ago. Now I can't keep my own
even the dog is over there turning his back on him. Good gracious.
I've got to turn my sound off. I'm eating a pizza and the dog's upset with me. He wants his half.
Tell him he can't have his half till you get the good part of it. You gotta have your half first.
Yeah.
How long have you
had that cold,
Gordy?
Just long enough for Bart to get here. It was probably came down really bad yesterday, so I probably had the bug for a couple days before that.
Of course. It has to incubate, right?
What's that?
Well,
has to
you gotta
incubate, right?
understand I live in the South, but you need to get you some good white liquor and some rock candy and make you feel much better.
Yeah, I don't think that liquor would help me any.
I didn't say I drank it. I just said it make you feel better. Everybody says that works. I don't know. I don't drink, so I don't know.
Yeah.
But
Well,
I
neither
do know.
do
I do know that the cold that is going around right now. You're the second person I've heard that has it. The other one lives in Montana, and boy, both of you sound like, good gosh, you feel terrible.
Well, Bart was down cutting out parts, and I just couldn't take the sawdust anymore, so I came back upstairs, left him down there by himself.
Yeah. What's he cutting out parts to?
Oh, a Bob Palmer biplane from the 40s.
Nice.
He told Bobby Hunton he'd build it. And I said, I'm surprised he did that. He can't build one for himself.
A Bob Palmer biplane from the 40s. I know Bob Hunt's dad had a really nice looking Travel Air bike.
Well, this is a
But I can't-
biplane that had a with Molson Rice 60 or something on it. It's only
Oh,
got a 40-inch wingspan.
yeah.
So imagine with a 60, it was probably pretty fast.
I don't know. It would have had to have been with that on it. Wow.
Yeah.
We had a friend of ours come down a few weeks ago and flew, if you remember, the old Sterling PT-19.
Oh, yeah.
Well, these kits were designed for a 19 to a 35.
Right.
Every one I have ever seen finished had a red hat 35 in it. So imagine my chagrin when he puts this thing on the field, and it's the best looking one I've ever seen, and I see he's got a ST-51 in it.
Wow.
Man, you talk about something that took off when when it was released. It was just a case of, whew, it was gone. It looked like a rat racer. Oh, but anyway, it seemed to fly pretty well. He didn't do a whole lot of stunts with it, but
Well,
it was fun to watch it fly.
I had an OS 35S in mine.
Yeah.
And
I
are you
think that's
talking
what I
about the
had
one
mine
Dave
too.
Hemestrout built? Damon Hemestrout designed the PT-19. Is that the same one?
Yeah. Oh, you're talking
Yeah.
about PT-19. Yeah, Dave Hemstrout designed the PT-19, and I have the model downstairs. Have a kit of it downstairs. The one I'm talking about is Sterling PT-7. I guess it's a 17, the biplane.
Oh, 17. Okay.
He took that thing with a big radial engine. He put both halves together, and then he put stacks on it. It really looked good. But boy, when that engine fired up, I thought, what that? That's no 35. And then Tom let go of the thing, and it just, wow, that was quite a takeoff. It didn't roll. It just went. It was neat. We all had a good laugh out of it. It was nice to watch it fly. And when it landed, it looked so real. He landed at 3 points. It was just cool. But it's one of those planes that lands, got the glide ratio of a set of keys. So he brought it down pretty quick when the engine quit.
Yeah, when I showed up at VFC with my PT-19, Dave Hemestrout had a fit when he found out I built the kit.
Ah, yeah. Dave's a great guy. I don't know how, I haven't seen him in years. I hope he's doing well, but I don't know. He's down in South Carolina. He's not that far away, but I just have not talked to him. I go down there right by his place twice a year. We go down to the beach, Foley Beach, with my daughter, and I need to pull in there in dang, I forgot the name of the town he lives in now. It's not Sumter. It's anyway, it's right there. But anyway, it's not far from Foley Beach. And his wife used to run, I think she's retired now, I'm sure she is, a child care. But he would have to pull his stuff out of a closet and build. And then if he didn't finish it by Sunday night, he still had to push everything back in the closet and lock it up so the kids could come in there Monday morning. I don't know how in the world he ever built the models he built, but man, he built some pretty stuff.
Well, the year I showed up with my PT-19, he also showed up with a PT-19 that had a KB40 in it.
Yeah. Well, you got to remember, his
out.
flying partner was same guy that built the K&B 40s for Les McDonald.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. I'll think of his name in a minute. I know him well, and I cannot call his name. Senior moment. Oh, for heaven's sakes. I can't think of his name right. Stan Powell. Stan, the guy that did the Dove, did the motors for Les and did the motors for him too. And those guys, all three had motors, just ran like turbines. Sounded good and ran good. And I tried to buy one of those motors for years, and Stan finally told me he'd sell me one. I have not seen him since. So maybe I'll see him at the club meeting in a couple of weeks. He usually comes to the half A meet and the July meet after the Nats. So maybe I'll get to see him. No, I won't, because that'll be the weekend. I won't be home yet. But anyway,
Yeah,
Ron?
he was running a wide blade 10.5 5.
Yeah,
And I tell
yeah,
you,
sounds familiar.
that KB runs so strong.
Yeah,
He
that was
come over.
actually that was actually a 12-inch cut down to 10 to get the extra wide blade. And
So it
then
was actually a 10.5.
10, oh,
That's what
10
he
and a half.
told me.
Okay. Yeah,
Anyway, he asked me to fly it. I told him I didn't want to switch airplanes before VSC. And he says, well, it was a great honor to have somebody of your caliber fly his airplane. And I says, well, I don't know about that, but the airplane flies really well.
oh yeah, it still
I kind of
does.
I kind of wished I would have flown his. I think his probably, because of the power, it probably flew better than mine.
Will Davis has it today, and it's electric, but it still flies great. He's won a bunch of contests with that airplane.
Now, is this Dave's old airplane?
Yeah, it's Dave's old airplane from the 70s. And it's
Yep.
he knows what number it is and everything, but it does not have the roll bar built out of toothpicks on it like one or two of his did, but it's still Dave's old airplane. And I remember Dave flying it. So, he didn't have to tell me it was Dave's actual airplane. I remember it. I've got pictures of it with Dave flying it. But he has it now and he's turned it into an electric. And he and I both are planning on building Dave's model, but with electric power that's, from start to finish, it's an electric. But mine's probably 2 years down the road. I got too many other planes I want to build.
You have to finish them, Phil. Come on.
Yeah.
Well, I'm starting to. I've got to learn to paint, and once I learn to make the paint work, I'm going to go ahead and paint. My wife has told me if I don't hurry up and get my building set up to paint, like that's part of the reason I got it. If I don't hurry up and do that, she's going to buy me a blow up building for the backyard to paint in. I don't know how that works, but I'm going to go ahead and try to get out there tomorrow and look into putting up some curtains, some of the curtains to keep the dust from getting into the paint area. And then I've got an end a door that rolls up. I figure I can get it set up and open the two windows, have air coming in the windows, and then I've got two fans that'll blow air, put the door down just a little bit from the bottom and have air blowing out of there. And thought about putting it through a box so that it's away from the door and under where I'm painting, and it'll draw the air out and get it out. I think that'd be a more efficient way. It'd be more like a paint booth. So I don't know exactly how it's going to end up yet, but yeah, it looks pretty cool. Yeah, it
You
looks
know where I
good.
paint mine?
No telling.
In my basement with my building room.
In the building room?
In the building room.
Oh, Lord.
I wipe all the benches down with a damp cloth and mop the floor. Open a window and put a fan in the window and one in the door where you walk into my high room, turn them both on, and then put it on the paint stand by the one window and paint all day. Most of the time, my wife don't even know I've been painting down there.
Oh, man. My wife's got a nose you wouldn't believe. That woman can smell.
So does my wife.
Wow. I might try that.
But
Well, I'd have to do it in the basement at the cars because I don't have another place. The rest, there's no windows in my basement except the garage doors and the walk-in door. But it's I don't know why we didn't put any windows in, but we didn't. But it's just a case of why we didn't put any windows in the basement. Well, it is underground, that's true. But they've got those windows that go out, and anyway. But anyhow,
rain problem.
That's true. We didn't want the rain problems. We got the highest lot in the neighborhood, and we got neighbors that have just a river that runs through their yard.
Hmm.
We just kind of sit back and watch and say, been there, done that. So our first house we tried to buy just a week before we were supposed to sign the papers on it, there came a bad rain and the basement had 2 feet of mud in it. We didn't buy the house. We did not buy that house. We backed out of that. But after that, I started looking for high ground, and I bought this and waited 2 years to get the contractor I wanted to build it. But anyway, oh Lordy, what are you flying tomorrow, Dan?
Not flying, I'm just helping. I'm just taking pictures. I'm
Oh,
running
okay,
the camera.
okay.
You
Nothing
should be
wrong with
flying
that.
then.
So with the worlds and the last gnats, I got a smug mug page, so I posted all the photos on that thing. So all the photos I take, I'll be putting on smug mug, and then all the video clips, I'll put it on YouTube.
Smug Mug, what is that?
Um, it's a photo site. It's made for photographers, and it's a place you could store the photos. And if you're so inclined, you can sell them. But I set mine up to where you can download them for free.
That's cool.
If you type my name in, danwinship.smugmug.com, it'll take you to the gallery. And
I'll give that a shot.
so hopefully later in the week, I'll try to upload these photos from the hotel here. And
Okay.
Then when ship what?
danwinship.smugmug.com, SMUGMUG.com.
Dan, how old are you now?
64.
I found
Well,
out.
when I first saw you just now, I thought I was looking at my dad. I'm serious.
Huh?
I'm telling you, you two are a spitting image.
Hey, your dad must have been a handsome devil, huh, Gordy?
Well, I guess my mom thought so.
That's all that
You said
matters.
that was Dan Winship at smugmug.com.
No, danwinship.smugmug.com.
Only have one picture here from the worlds.
Okay.
Dan, I still got a
Okey-dokey.
couple of your horns,
Uh-huh.
from years ago.
Okay. How's Brent Williams doing with the
He's been selling quite a few. I got the first pair,
okay.
and he's doing an excellent job on them.
Talking about the horns? Yeah, they do great. They look great. I've got 3 pair of them.
Yeah.
I got them going in my Bearcat.
Yeah.
And I got a pair laid back for a Trailblazer.
I had him give me the first set, and I was going to build the Blue Max.
Wow.
I got the kit and the K77.
There you go. I see it now, Dan.
Don't know what ever happened to Dan Winship or to Casminato. What airplane's that?
That's cool.
Oh, Dan Winship's. Is that electric?
No, that's Orestes right there.
Oh,
So let's see the world. So basically here's the gallery. See this
Well, that's cool.
you see this little arrow right there? That's how
yeah.
you get the free download. But these are all the photos in there.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
So you
I'll
just
look at that.
You just click on a photo and it pulls up.
Yeah.
Yeah, last year at Las Vegas, I talked him out of his team hat.
Who's that? Cassie?
No,
That girl was amazing.
Prentice.
I mean, she was amazing. She is a full doctor. She looks about 16 and she's a full doctor.
There's the brother and sister from Poland.
Yeah.
But they'll try to sell you a photo. But what you have to do, it's like here, this little arrow right here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can hardly see it, but you can actually buy the photo by clicking that. So yeah, I'll put them on another gallery. It'll be the 2025 Nats.
That's cool. Okay. Good deal, Dan. I'm anxious to see you flying again, though. You had some beautiful stuff.
Not really, but I'll
Oh,
fly.
I thought they were good looking.
I'll get to flying again.
Looking forward to it.
Messing around with these dang YouTube videos, eating up my time.
Oh, I know what you mean there. But if you don't get back to flying, you have to do like we all have to do. Sit around and talk, sit around and aggravate each other and think about how good we used to be.
Yeah, I got to get going. I ain't got much time left.
Me either. I'm older than you.
64.
I'm 70. Oh,
Well, I was flying real good, Dan, when I was your age.
Yeah.
And last year, I flew through part of the pattern, one flight for the whole year.
Okay.
one flight.
One flight. Well, I haven't flown for 3 years.
Good grief.
Sparky's only flown about 5 times this year. So we go out to the field, of course, Nats N30, sort of looking cloudy, right? He said, I don't think I'm going to fly. I said, well, why not? He said, well, I don't know. It's a little windy and it looks like it might rain. I said, we're not coming out here just to put the plane back in the car. And he put up 2 flights. He didn't think they were all that great. I said, well, nobody else, was flying all that great either. So he flew well enough to squeak out a win.
Mm-hmm.
So, give it all you
That's
got.
all that matters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you fly terrible, as long as you fly a little bit better than the other guy flies terrible.
Yeah. It's like you don't have to outrun the bear. You just have to outrun the person you're with.
That's
That's
it.
right.
That's it. That's the reason I always went camping with somebody I didn't like. Made sure there was somebody I didn't like in the group. Because if the bear got after us, I was going with him because I knew I could outrun him.
Is that why you invited me over there camping?
Lord. Oh, Lord. I don't know if I can
Figure
outrun
it out
you.
slower.
I don't know if I can outrun you. Oh, Lord. Well, I tell you what. You got to watch these young guys. They're getting smarter by the day. Shoo.
Yep.
Hey,
Oh.
Caffeine, you got any more flying videos?
Unfortunately not, but I went flying last Saturday. Yeah, I had some flights. I didn't change anything, but somehow my plane, when I was doing the inside look, it closes earlier than it used to be. I I I used to be able to make like big round and circle, but last flight it was like you know it's going inside, and then you know it's turning
You didn't do one of those
tight.
6 or 9s, did you?
You
What's
didn't
that?
do those figure nines, did you? You know, you
No,
got
no, no.
eight. You know what a figure nine is, don't you?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
When you come around like this and straight down.
Yeah, 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 yeah. It
Hmm.
looked like 9. I don't know why, because no, yeah, I didn't change anything on the plane and on the setup, but somehow instead of round that I could do, it's turned like 9. So I don't know. I wasn't feeling really well when I was
Yeah.
on Saturday. So I don't know if it's piloting or yeah my condition problem or something wrong with the plane.
Yeah. Some days are like that, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Some days you're the bear
Mm-hmm.
and some days you're the rabbit.
Okay. All right. Yeah,
And
but yeah, it's still better than nothing. Yeah, you went out there and you still practice your hands, so you don't really forget how to do it. So yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like riding a bicycle.
yeah,
you'll get it back. Well, guys, I think I'm gonna get
You
out of
know,
here and put it to
caffeine.
bed. I'm about pooped.
What's that?
Yeah.
I'm gonna get out of here and go to bed. Y'all
Hey,
have a
good.
great one.
Okay.
I hope to see everybody Friday night.
Okay, Phil.
And
Okay.
that'll be the last time I get to see you for 2 weeks. So I hope. I
All right.
hope because I hope I get to go. Anyway, you guys have a great week. Take care of yourselves, and we'll talk to you soon.
Okay,
See you
Phil.
later.
Take
Okay.
care, Phil. Watch out for the bears.
Yeah.
Good night, Phil.
So, Kevin, what I'm thinking is like sometimes you, depending where you are flying, if you are surrounded by trees, it's hard to read the air.
Okay,
Right? And if you put a maneuver in the wrong place, I mean, can go bad really fast.
okay. Yeah. Well,
So
one thing
if the
that
plane is the
since
same and the motor runs the same, there's no reason for which the plane shouldn't fly the same, other than
well, yeah, one thing
you
that changed is
purposely
the place
doing it,
where
or yeah.
yeah one thing that changed is the place where I fly where I flew. Yeah, that's could be.
Yeah, probably flying through turbulence and stuff like that. God
Yeah.
knows how the wind is bouncing around the yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
what can I
different
say?
different flying place. So
So what I've been told, like when you do loops,
mhm,
basically, like you give it the control, right?
yeah,
You just fly level, boom, and you just hit it, right?
mhm,
And from that point
mhm,
on, this doesn't move. It stays there. You just
mhm,
follow the plane, right? Now,
yeah,
if you wanna adjust, if the plane comes a little bit low, what you
mhm,
do instead of following like this round, right? You're gonna
mhm,
come a little bit above, right? So you instead of being the bottom of your hand being here, it's a little bit higher, right?
mhm,
But you adjust by how you follow the plane, right? So you either follow it
yeah,
around. So if
yeah,
it comes too low, you just go a little bit above it, right? You see how my hand is lifted a
mhm,
little bit, right?
yeah,
So it's the
mhm,
equivalent of you giving it a little bit of up, right? But when you follow it,
mhm,
just kind of follow it like this, just a little bit up, right? If it
yeah,
comes too low. If it comes
mhm,
high, you're following a little bit below, right?
mhm,
Make sense?
yeah,
But it's how you follow the plane, right? So
yeah,
and think the plane is like a pencil, right?
mhm,
You don't look at the pencil in your hand, right? You look
yeah,
at at the paper, right? And you put the
mhm,
pencil where you want to put it, right?
mhm,
So think about your plane as a pencil,
yeah, yeah,
and just put the pencil where wherever you want to put it. Just follow it nice and neat, clean,
mhm,
right?
yeah, yeah,
When you're done with the maneuver, like you have your up, when you're done with your maneuver, boom, back
mhm,
to neutral. And
yeah,
and
yeah,
and and here's another trick, right? So you can see this better, right?
mhm,
When you start the maneuver, right?
mhm,
Don't go like that, slowly into it, right?
mhm,
Because what's that gonna do is gonna take your plane, go like that, and then it's gonna start to turn, right? So it's gonna
mhm,
climb softly, and then it's gonna start to turn faster, right?
mhm,
So what you do, you go from here to boom, loop, right?
yeah,
Instant. Just go bam, hit it, right?
Mhm.
And then just
Mhm.
follow it.
Yeah.
And the same thing on a horizontal 8, right? So you're up
Mhm.
here, right? And you
Mhm.
approach the intersection,
Mhm. Yeah.
just very fast move. I like as the plane goes as the plane goes on vertical, your hand goes here, boom.
Yeah. Yeah.
You you
Yeah.
flip real
Mhm.
fast, right? As
Yeah.
fast as you can. So
Mhm.
the plane goes here and then change directions almost
Yeah.
instantly.
Yeah.
Those are some tricks, right?
Mhm.
Uh, yeah. So think of a pencil when you fly. Just feel the plane. Try to feel the plane when you fly. Feel the pull on the lines, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And just feel the plane, right?
All right.
Okay.
Mhm.
Learn to feel
Mhm.
the plane and learn to draw with it,
Yep.
like a pencil. Draw with it on the sky, wherever you're gonna do.
My,
Thanks, Ryan.
my
Hey, you
trouble
welcome.
is when I was flying airplanes, before I could build a good stunner, it's like drawing with a nuke.
I have trouble hearing you, Dan.
It
What did you
took me a
say?
long time to build an airplane. It would stay on the end of the lines. So it's like drawn with a noodle.
Yeah, I
Did you
mean, if
fig-
the plane is trimmed and it's then this is where the feeling the plane comes in place, right? So you fly the plane, you feel the plane. Oh, it's kind of loose over there, or whatever you feel, right?
Well, when I was young kid trying to fly an airplane like some of these bad ringmasters and stuff, I couldn't feel the plane because there was no line tension.
Yeah.
You know, in order for me to get through a pattern, I walked into Jack Sheik's hobby shop and he had his care. It was like 1976 or 7. And I said, "How much you want for that plane?" He said, "I'll sell it to you for $120." And I bought it. That's the only way. That was the first time I had an airplane that could get through a pattern without falling on my head, you know. So I had to actually buy one from him, you know. And then eventually, I got to where I could build them. But people starting out and trying to build an airplane to get a really good airplane, it's hard to build one.
Yeah, I agree with you.
So, but yes, once the advice you gave him is perfect, but you got to have a plane that's going to stay out there for him.
Yeah, that's true. You know what? The most my eyes got open when I got my first real plane. It was an SV-12, the Intrepid,
Yeah,
Mhm.
Randy Smith. And when I got the kit from him, the kit came like with just the foam cores and some parts in there, right? Like where the heck is the plane? Where's the rest of it? He would sell them without the balsa wood and
yeah,
stuff like that
yeah.
because everybody put their own balsa wood and bought their own
Right, right.
whatever, right? So I'm finishing the plane. I put always match 46 VF. It's a motor that I still have. It has a brand new piston and cylinder in it, right? But it hasn't been running in years. Anyways, so Randy Smith tune pipe motor with a 46 VF on it, the works, right?
Yeah,
And I'm putting the plane in the air and my jaw just dropped because the plane that I was building before that was not even as good as a twister.
yeah,
You know, was a crappy quality. The motor would not run because the nose was too weak, and I didn't know that at the time. So the motor would not run. Would quit at random spots and stuff like that. But man, and when I put the plane in the air, I'm going like, holy smokes.
yeah,
Oh my God, I wouldn't want to fly anything else. So
yeah,
at that point, I didn't know how to fly everything. I could do the horizontal eight. I started to hit the squares a little bit with the other plane and go overhead, stuff like that. So simple stuff, right?
yeah,
Loops and flying a little bit inverted, right? And when I got this plane, I think it was a matter of a month or two, I learned the whole pattern by myself.
It's nice when you got a plane that'll fly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I start to experiment, right? Because it has adjustable lead outs. So I just put them in some position over there that I thought it was good. So I fly the plane. I said, man, it's kind of light on the top. Let me move the lead outs backwards, right?
Yeah.
And it got worse. And I said, maybe I should move them more backwards. It got even worse, right? And I was like, oh, I must be going in the wrong direction. It didn't make any sense to me. I said, if I put the lead outs backwards, I have more angle, and the plane should pull harder, right? Wrong. So I tried to. I said, let me go the other direction, see what happens, man. And I started to move them forward a little bit, and that's when I discovered the power of the lead out adjustment, right?
Yeah.
Um, uh, and uh, um, and I got to the point that I put a flight to the plane, in which I put the plane just in front of me, and I was just playing like horizontal eight, and just morphing in the horizontal to go into a vertical eight, then do a square, then horizontal square. Just the plane would stay and go exactly where I put it, and I was like, wow.
A Rusty Shark, I was looking at it. There's no adjustable lead outs. They're
Okay.
this far apart.
Uh-huh.
So
I guess they got it dialed in and know exactly where the CG should be, and where the you put the CG here, you leave the lead outs over there, and you're good to go. It's more of a turnkey system.
Oh, speaking of turnkey systems, I started out. My first big plane was a Sterling P-51 Mustang profile. The second one was a Super Ringmaster, and then I got 57 Green Box Nobler kit, and I built that like the kit said, and I set up the lead outs like the kit said, and I took that out, put a McCoy 35 Redhead in there, and a fellow there, Dick Williamson, was very good at. He was a good friend of Dick McCoy's, along with several other guys. He showed me how to run the darn thing. I didn't think I was going to be able to take off with it running that, but it took off. It flew, and that thing, I didn't have to touch it. I lucked out. I just totally, absolutely lucked out, or I just didn't know any better. But that thing flew where I pointed it, and did everything I wanted it to do, and never had to adjust to touch anything. The lead outs were in the right place.
Yep.
Balance was right. It was
And as soon as that happens, you have a plane that will perform. You can put it anywhere. You don't worry about the motor run. You don't worry about the plane performing. It's all up to you to put it wherever you want to put it. Then your focus changes to how do you want to make the maneuver better versus like, oh my God, is the plane gonna stay there? It's gonna fail, or it's gonna the motor is gonna quit on me, or you have none of those worries exist anymore.
Well, I know in my case, getting the motor to run the way it should run was a heavy 2.4 brake, but that made the plane so easy to fly, and would just anyway. It took me a long time after I came back to flying to find an airplane that would handle like that, and I finally did. And quite frankly, I will say right now, it was Gordy's Pathfinder that really was the one that really performed for me.
Yeah.
And
Where'd you go?
Been a fun ride, hasn't it, Gordy?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Hey, Gary.
Dan.
Hey, Gary.
Yeah.
Dan,
If Sparky finds out we're on here this long, will you get at us?
I don't think so. I see. I look to shut it down, but it tells me I'm going to shut the whole thing down. So I'm afraid to do anything. So I just. We got 15 watching still.
Did we really? They
Yes, that's it.
they must be on the other side of the world.
Dan Gordy was asking you a question there, though.
Okay, I'm sorry, Gordy. What was it?
I just wanted you to quit smiling because I wanted my wife to see how much you look like my dad.
Okay.
Now you're smiling. Doesn't he look like-
Yeah.
Yeah, she thinks so too.
I do too.
Yeah. Okay, you can smile now, Dan. She left.
Mm.
Yeah, Craig Gunder comes up to me at the Nats. He said, "Do you know Mike Palco?" I said, "A little bit. I mean, I've spoke with him, out here." So Mike Palco goes to Craig Gunder. He said, "You know that Winship, you and him are exactly alike. The same height." He said, "You talk the same, you think the same." We were laughing about it because I guess he was comparing us. We didn't see it, but I guess Mike did.
Yeah.
But
I think I must have got so ugly because nobody says that about me anymore.
well, a lot of people say, I know you from somewhere. I said, yeah, we used to be cellmates in the prison. Don't you remember?
Guys, I have to go. I'm working tomorrow,
Okay.
so I'm gonna say good night and have a good one.
Good night,
Thanks for
Sheriff.
coming on.
All right.
Good night.
Yeah.
You're welcome. And again, caffeine, the lesson for you, get yourself a nice, a badass plane and and learn.
Yep, yep.
Hi. Good night, guys.
Good night.
Yeah.
Good night.
Hey, Gary, I'm going to jump off here too. I think
Okay.
probably going to wake up in an hour or two, be ready to go. I better get.
Yeah.
Think we better shut her down now?
I'm getting off.
Yeah, we probably should, I guess.
You're bigger than he is.
I know that. Yeah.
Hey, Dan, it was nice meeting you.
Yeah, nice meeting you too.
This is
I'll
the
see
first
you.
time I've ever seen you.
I've been on here before, Gordy, I think.
Did you get my cat, Gordy?
But, I know the name from all the horns.
Okay, yeah. Tell Brent Williams to hang in there. Don't give that up.
Oh, yeah, he's doing a good job.
Okay, I know he is. I've heard good compliments.
Yep.
So,
He does good work.
yeah. Okay. This
Okay.
is Sparky. This is Sparky's computer. Hopefully, I figure out how to turn this thing off. I'll see you guys later.
Okay.
Just hit the power button.
Yeah. I'll unplug it. Get on.
I think you can right click there, I think, and then
Well, just all you gotta do up there where it says Stunt Hangar, just X out.
I think I found that red X.
Yeah.
yeah.
All right. Good night, gentlemen.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Good night. Thanks
Well,
for
now
coming
he's
on.
done. We're still here.
Fair
night,
winds
guys.
and tight lines, right?
Well, I can't talk anymore more with this cold.
Yeah.
The more I talk, the worse I cough.
Yeah.
I thought he was shutting the whole thing down. We're still
No,
here.
I'm shutting the thing down.
Oh,
Yeah.
Anyway,
I'm the
good night,
host, really, but he just
Good.
stayed on. Okay,
See
good
you,
night,
Gordy.
guys.
All right,
Take
good
care.
night.
Okay.
Good night. I think I'll take off too. Let you get to bed early tonight there.
Are you
Gary.
closing it down, Gary?
Sad?
Are you
Yeah, I think I
closing it
will.
down?
I think I
Okay.
will.
All right.
Probably, and we'll see you Friday
All right.
night, I guess.
Sounds good.